Welcome to the Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast, the only podcast that can start an episode with a Disc Golf Hall of Famer and finish it with a drunk Ryan Nelson breaking down USA Hockey. This week's episode is sponsored by 2025 DisCap Volunteer of the Year, Patreon Terry Hudson. Until today, I had no idea they did a Volunteer of the Year. Is that a new thing?
No, it's been going for a few years at least.
No, I think Jason Gorsuch won it at least once, if I'm not mistaken.
Anybody else?
I won it last year.
Awesome. Well, joining me tonight are Corey, Evan, Alex, 2024 DisCap Volunteer of the Year, Jamin, Randy, and Tim. And our guest tonight has been a PDGA member since 2021. He is a prominent, high-rated amateur player in the Hudson Valley with over 15 career wins, 16 to be precise, who shares a last name with the region itself. And as I mentioned before, just learned he's the DisCap Volunteer of the Year for 2025. Thanks for joining us, Terry Hudson.
Hello, thanks for having me.
So how did you first discover disc golf?
Just walking in a public park. So I took my kids to Shenandoah Creek Park, as we did a lot. They were younger. Now they're getting a little older and they don't want to necessarily go walk the park anymore, but just happened upon these baskets. I'd heard of disc golf before, but, I never really tried playing. I saw the baskets. We had a Can Jam Frisbee in the car. I said, kids, let me get the Frisbee and we'll go try to play around. And I think we played hole 15. Instantly, my first throw, I knew I was going to love this sport. And that's how I found out.
What year was that about?
2021. So it was not COVID year. It was the year after.
But still, that was the year you signed up for PDGA. So like you said, it was a pretty quick introduction. Did you research it to figure out what kind of discs to get, that kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah. The first thing I did when I got home was, Googled, what do I need for disc golf? And I'm pretty internet savvy. So you just go online and, I went to Facebook, I went to Reddit. I Googled and I immediately went to Dick's to get a couple of discs I had no business getting.
You remember what they were?
I have them right here, actually. One of them was the Musket, 10.5, basically 0.2, and the other one was a Truth. They're all dinged up right now. Let's just say they were throw discs in the yard.
They're not in your bag any longer.
Oh, no.
Did you say it was Shenandoah, the course?
Yeah, I live about 5 or 6 minutes away, so that would be my home course.
Okay. How many unique courses have you played?
Oh, good question. UDisc says 55 courses played. I've probably played a few more that aren't on there, so anywhere in the 55 to 65 range.
We established you started in 2021. You pretty quickly signed up with the PDGA. How soon before you were scoring, and how are you as far as keeping track in UDisc? Was that a quick thing or?
Definitely a quick thing. I love to keep score. Let me see. I'm going to go through my profile here and see if I can find what my first round was. But it was almost instant. Internet says keep track with UDisc. And so I did that.
Are you like Corey? Can I tell your C1 putting average?
No, that's too much effort.
Come on, Terry. That sounds like just enough effort for someone like you.
You would think, but no, I don't keep track of any of that. In fact, I if you were to look at it, you'd see that I did that once and I never did it again. It was just too much effort.
I played my first ever doubles because of Terry Hudson. You remember that, Terry?
Of course I remember that.
So Terry and I had been on a bowling team together years prior, just kind of friend of a friend thing, and went our separate ways. And then Terry reached out to me on Facebook because he saw that I was getting into disc golf and basically convinced me to come up to Shen on a Sunday morning and play dubs for the first time, which was pretty awesome. And we both kind of started getting into tournaments and stuff around the same time.
Yeah, you were my disc golf bestie for a little while there. We were together all the time, throwing all the time. Now you've got the most tag matches ever played. I subbed on a bowling team for our mutual friend, Dave. And so he also was bowling on that team. So we became friends that way. And then when I saw him out playing disc golf, I was like, hey, remember me from bowling? Yeah. And I'm like, hey, well, I'm getting into disc golf. I'd love to play with somebody. Would you like to play? And so we just kept calling each other and going out and playing together. It was great.
Team challenge, the whole thing.
I saw that my first recorded round was August 5th, 2021. It was at the Spa State Park, and it was bad. I shot a plus 14, so.
That's under bogey golf.
True.
Yeah, Okay, so you said that Shen's 5-6 minutes away. What other courses are in your radius?
SPAC, CPS. I think Clifton Park is the best area for disc golf, and we don't have any real disc golf courses in Clifton Park. but we're centralized to both like the downstate. So for me to go to Stonykill, which is like the farthest course that I like to go to, it's about 50 minutes. And then to go to Wild West Ranch, it's about 40 minutes. So I'm kind of in the middle of everything. There's not a lot of courses where we're at right here. I mean, Blatnick's pretty close to, but very centralized to a lot of different courses.
Well, I mean, you're right near Shen. I've not played Shen. Is that a beginner course, intermediate, advanced? What would you classify Shen as?
Intermediate. It's definitely not a beginner course. They have some holes there that'll eat you up and some tight fairways there, hole 5. But it's a scoreable course if you know what you're doing.
I'm just curious, like, I imagine that's where you played the most when you were first starting, so I wasn't sure if it's a deterrent having a slightly tougher course.
It's a good question. No, it wasn't really a deterrent. One, because I was having fun. And honestly, if it was easy to start with, I don't know, I'd be having as much fun as it was, kind of learning how to play and getting better. So, yeah, not too bad. Now, I've definitely seen courses that are deterrents.
Yeah, we don't need to name names.
Well, I didn't want to bring it up in case you asked, but it's in Iceland. That was by far the hardest course I've ever played.
Is that the farthest you've traveled to play disc golf?
Absolutely. So that was May of 2022. My wife and I got to go to President's Club for my work. So I got President's Club as a high-performing salesperson, and they flew us out to Iceland. And, of course, I brought my discs with me. And I met up with one of the members of the Frisbee Golf Club. That's what they call it over there. And so he actually picked me up at my hotel. We went to Grafar Hall. We played. I think I shot a plus 33, limited discs, and I was still relatively new in my disc golf. So I have videos of me throwing terribly. But that was, though, I mean, some of the tightest fairways you could see, these unrelenting pines that just grabbed everything. Lost a disc over there. It was fun, but I mean, one of the toughest courses I've ever played.
I imagine the polar bears and the icebergs, too, get in the way.
So we got really lucky. We were over there in June, and it was early June. First of all, it never got dark. So we were at a club because they had clubs there, and we left. It was 2 a.m, and it was still bright out, and we're thinking, all right, what do we got to do next? And then everybody looked at their phones and said, wait, it's 2 a.m. We literally have to go to bed. But you wouldn't have thought it was anything other than 8 o'clock at night.
You almost have to force yourself. That's crazy.
It really was. So going there was an amazing experience. It was 65 degrees there. We were there at one of the warmest times that they've had in the last decade. So I got very lucky going to Iceland.
What's the furthest you've traveled to actually play disc golf?
Probably a team challenge, I would say. So if it's not related to work, then definitely. Well, so I went on vacation and we went to South Carolina. And so I played in South Carolina. That would be the furthest. But if I'm just going I want to go play a round, probably a couple hours, 2-3 hours. I went to Tower Ridge to play in a flex tournament. So that's in Connecticut. That's a couple hours. And then I think we played in New Hampshire for team challenge last week. So it was about 2.5 hours.
So you said you're centrally located. What's your favorite of the local courses?
Stonykill.
Oh, okay.
Love Stonykill.
I mean, that's kind of, you said what, 50, 55 minutes?
Yeah, about 50, 55. That's the farthest that I would drive if I'm just going to play a fun round. I don't think I would go any farther than that. It's just got everything. That course is so really well designed. I took a lot of what I learned from Stonykill to Dove Creek.
Well, I imagine that's probably your favorite. How far is that one from you?
40 minutes. So it's a hike.
How'd that come about?
Yeah, so I'm from Amsterdam. And I have another bowling friend, Sean Collins, him and I bowled together. We won city championship in Amsterdam. And, I had known that Sean was big into disc golf. So after I had gotten into disc golf, I reached out to him and said, hey, it'd be really fun if we could, put a course in Amsterdam. And, he was all for it. I had scouted out a few different parks in Amsterdam and reached out to a couple people that I knew. And and Sean and I both agreed the best place in Amsterdam was this little park kind of in the middle of the city called Sassafras Park. It's really only known for its really nice wooden playground. So you remember the old school wooden playgrounds with the metal slides and
I thought they banned those things.
that's still alive and kicking in Amsterdam. But yeah, so that was a little park that was built when I was a kid, and I would go there, and I have memories going there because it just looked so big when I was a kid. And there's this trail behind there that's really kind of not used. It used to be used a long time ago in the 70s and the 80s. And, just walking it back there, you could see the lines built right into the trails. You could see them, built off the trails. So really just kind of connecting with a friend and just pestering the town and the county to get funding.
Nice. How'd you guys go about getting a tournament set up there?
Well, just you want to do it and you ask. First of all, I have to say, visit Montgomery County, which is the Montgomery County Rec Department, and the city of Amsterdam. They love disc golf. They love the thought of disc golf. They love the thought of bringing recreation to Montgomery County, to the city of Amsterdam. So they are the most supportive of municipalities. They'll pretty much let you do whatever you want. As long as you can raise money for it, they'll let you do whatever. So realistically, I wanted to host a tournament, and I want to host a tournament because I want to play in more tournaments. I want people to have more tournaments to play. So, Sean and I looked at dates that would work, and we wanted something early in the season because there's not a ton early. And then once you get later in the season, it becomes pretty tough to figure out the days. So we picked something early to kind of, while people are, itching to get out and play, we thought that would help bring in more people. But really, it was just about asking. And, I work in sales for a living. And like anything in life, if you want it, you just got to bug people. If you bug people enough, they'll give it to you.
I think that's an important point. I think some people, you get kind of paralyzed by the fear of just asking and saying, hey, could we do this?
Yep.
So there's a wing fest going on at the same time. Was that in the plan? How did that work?
So no, it wasn't the original plan. The city of Amsterdam gave me their 2026 event calendar about a half a year early. So when I was looking at dates, we were looking at dates that were different than the dates that we originally settled on. And the one that that everybody had time for just so happened to coincide with the Amsterdam Wing Fest. They do things all the time. Like they just had Sioux Fest last week. They've got their St. Patty's Day coming up in a couple weeks, and then their next big event is Wing Fest. And so I said, the county and the city have been good to us. They've let us do what we wanted to do. They've given us funding. The city helps mow. How can I help bring people to the city, right? Because that's when you talk to municipalities about disc golf and you sell it to them, one of the things is, hey, disc golf brings people to the area. People to the area support local businesses. So, my alarm bells were going off. I didn't necessarily want to call it Wing It and Sling It, or didn't want to make it Wing Fest related, but since it was that date, it kind of made sense to do that. Now, I was a little hesitant at first because, who knows if they're going to have Wing Fest on the same date every year. If it's a date I can't host the tournament, then the Wing Fest will go away. So that was in my mind. But realistically, it's just a way to bring people to the area to go patronize the businesses there. And Wing Fest was a great opportunity to do that.
Before you knew the Wing Fest was involved, what other names did you guys kick around, or did you?
I had a few. I went on ChatGPT and I was throwing a couple down. In fact, I think Wing It and Sling It also came from ChatGPT. Gotta love the AI. And, the Montgomery County Throwdown, it was just random, Amsterdam related. I do try to do things with intention. So if I come up with a name, I do try to put some sort of flair for the city into it. But it just so happened Wing Fest was there, and Wing It and Sling It sounded the best out of all the ones that we looked at.
So it's a C tier?
Yeah, just the C tier. It's technically a fundraiser tournament. I was thinking about making it an XC tier, but honestly, I've never run a tournament before, so I kind of wanted the full, this is what it's going to be. This is going to be a C tier. So I kind of settled on a C tier, and then any proceeds that don't go to payouts, it's all going to the course fund. So that course fund will allow us to keep things going. I mean, we do use turf tee pads. I'm not 100% sure how long they're going to last, right? So we're going to need some items that we need potentially fixed up on the tee pads. Everything needs fixing, right, over time. So, you always need money when you have a course because you're always trying to upgrade things. Like we need stairs. If you saw some of the bridges we made, that cost a lot of money. And so Yeah, it's just course funds to keep things running smooth.
Well, I was going to ask, are you the course designer? Would you consider yourself?
Yeah, Sean and I, we walked that from the beginning. So yeah, I would say Sean and I are co-designers.
Okay, well, so as a co-designer, and I know you're going to have a harsher scale. Obviously, there's upgrade and such. But as far as the actual course itself, would you put a percentage on it as far as like there's stuff you still want to do?
18 permanent baskets, 18 permanent tee pads. In that regard, it's done. We're watching the numbers of people that play. So there's going to be some modifications. Like we want to make potentially hole 4 a little bit longer. So there are things like that we'll need to do. But for all intents and purposes, it's done. Right now, if it stayed like that, I'd be happy. There are obviously things I would like to change after playing it, or things that we may want to change after playing it more. But no, it's done.
There were a couple baskets that you're giving away?
Yeah, and this is where visit Montgomery County in general. First of all, Montgomery County wants to be known as the disc golf capital of New York State. They are all about it. They love Burbine. If anyone's ever been to any of their Burbine tournaments, they always have really cool giveaways. And so I approached them, hey, I want to do this. You guys want in? They were, of course, into it. And I said, all right, well, let's talk giveaways. Because most of the time they give away good things. They've had a couple duds that I think one of them was the hand warmer. I didn't use that at all. I love the hat that they have. In fact, if you ask Greg Kurtz, that's his favorite giveaway of all time is the big Blues at Burbine hat. And so I said I would like to get something disc golf related, not just like a monogrammed cup or anything. So can we do something cool like a rain jacket? First of all, I think the players might need the rain jacket since it's early April. But I think of all of the items I've gotten from tournaments, things like umbrellas, rain jackets, the functional things have been the things that I've used the most. So my goal was to get something that the entrants will use or will continue to use. So rain jackets is the main giveaway from Montgomery County. And then baskets. And I said, well, they do a throw off at Burbine for a paddle board. I think they do that every year because Burbine has the pond and the canoe that sticks out. And so I said, well, we don't have any of that here. And I don't think a paddle board is really an apt, giveaway. So I think what every player wants or what every, someone who's semi-serious about the sport goes after is a basket, right? The baskets are probably the most expensive of all the items you could win. I know that. And one of the things about the Stonykill Scramble that I loved were all the giveaways. The things I wanted to win the most at the Stonykill Scramble were the baskets. So they're going to get some MVP Pro HDs. They're getting one just for not a CTP, but ace pot, right? So hole 18 is an island green. It's about 188 feet. So we're going to use that as the ace throw off for that prize, which is a basket. And then I said, well, how do we incorporate Wingfest into this, right? So called the tournament Wing It and Sling It. How do we get Wingfest to be involved here? And then also, how do we bring contestants to the city and, kind of bring some business there? And so we came up with this Wingfest challenge. I think Morgan from Visit Montgomery County has called it. And essentially what it is you have to go to, first of all, there's like 50 different restaurants in Amsterdam that are doing Wingfest. So there's 50 entrants. And you just have to go to get 4 entrants, and you end up getting like a card, like a punch card. It's not going to be a punch card, but you will get that filled out. And essentially, if you go and you sample 4 different wings, and you meet up at Rockton House, which is a restaurant about 5 minutes away from the course, at about 6 o'clock, they're going to do a drawing for another basket. And so it's only for entrance into the tournament. So I assume that not everybody's going to do this. So you're going to have a way better chance to win the second basket. If you come out, have a beer, have a couple wings, maybe have some wings if you're at one of the places and one of the wings tastes good, and then get yourself in a raffle for a basket.
Heck yeah.
I might have to actually play MA1 just to get the rain jacket.
Everyone's getting the rain jacket.
I might have to play MA1 to get some AM cash too.
Okay, you could do that from 80K discs. But if you were going to play pro, everyone is getting a rain jacket regardless, Am or Pro.
Ooh, that's game changing.
Yeah, I don't think that the AM cash will work for the wing places, Corey. To get the
Damn
basket.
it, wings are expensive.
They're only $1 each if you go to try them.
It really pays me to say that it's not a bad price.
Oh, it should not be anymore. I remember quarter wings.
Yeah. Say I was a lefty AM player playing like MA40. What 3 discs would you say would work best for me at Sassafras Park? Then what is it? At Dove Creek course at Sassafras Park?
It's a mouthful, that course.
And what would you hypothetically be putting with?
Definitely going to be putting with a wizard, but I like a retro wizard, which is a little different. A retro wizard is a slightly thinner profile wizard. So I think that's more along the lines of the original wizard. I just think that the regular wizard's just a little too deep for my hand. So definitely putting with the wizard. That's number one. The front nine is pretty short. You really only need mid at most. So, I will throw in a nice gateway element, which is a neutral mid-range. So I think it's like a 5.5, -1/1. And then there are some bombers. So there's a 512-foot hole. And since it's a dog leg left, about 280 feet down, I'm going to have to throw something that turns. So I'd probably throw a spear, a gateway spear. So a 9.6 -2/1. Those would be my 3 discs I'd throw out there.
Was that 3 and a putting putter, or was that including the putting putter?
So the putting putter is the wizard. But if I was going to use a throwing putter, it'd either be an Overstable Chief or a Hooligan Cash. Those would be my throwing putters. So either one of those works. They're essentially 3.302s.
All right. Wide open field, no wind, flat. What kind of disc are you throwing? How are you throwing it to get to the basket? 200 feet. I don't think I said that.
Okay, that makes sense. Probably throwing a Heiser putter. You're going to see either a cash, wide open field. I'm throwing it out to the left and letting it crash. Yeah, Hooligan Cash. I think that comes off my hand the best. So, yeah.
Okay, and that's a backhand?
Backhand, yes. Sorry, lefty. I am lefty backhand, so yes.
Do you remember your first tournament?
Off the top of my head, no, without checking my PDGA page. I'm sure I would remember it, but I don't.
It looks like the Ice Bowl.
Okay, the Ice Bowl. Yes.
And that's Dubs, right?
Yeah, who was my first partner with that? Was that Ed? Was that you?
Dave Martin.
No, I don't think I played.
Ah.
But I remember your first singles tournament, I think, was also mine, which was the Stonykill Wipeout.
Yes.
And you beat me by 2 strokes, and we both had really bad days. But we had fun.
We had a lot of fun. And I don't even think they were bad days for back then. They're bad days for now, but back then, I thought we did all right.
I don't know. Any day I beat Kevin T. Kroenke is a good day. That's all.
Yeah, we both did that. That is true. But neither of us broke 800 that day. So, yeah. But look at us now. I'm trying to remember because I went to a couple work days at Dove Creek before it was. I mean, I remember what's the hole that comes back up the hill towards.
That's 9.
Yeah, I remember, buckets on stakes and whatnot. During a work day, when everybody's doing their part to cut a course in or anything that's going on, what kind of tunes are you going to put onto the Bluetooth speaker to keep the energy high? What's maybe 3 artists we'd hear on your playlist? I know you listen to a lot of different stuff. I always like when you're in charge of the music. So what would be 3 artists we might hear during a work day to help keep everybody pumped up?
So I was actually preparing for this question because I knew it was coming. I'm not a person whose choice of music stays in the age in which they've grown up. So love me some 90s grunge. That was my jam. Or 90s rap, 90s hip hop. I love all of it when it comes on. But I listened to the crap out of it when I was a kid. So I don't want to hear it anymore. What I like to hear now are new artists. So the artists that you'd hear keeping the energy up. First one's going to be 21 Pilots, which is a twosome band, pop rock. Kings of Leon, kind of a bluesy country pop, country rock. And then third one, it's the one I struggled on. Probably a little Cold War Kids, which we kind of one of my favorite bands of all time.
Nice.
I've heard of a couple of those.
So I guess to kind of adapt it a little bit, what are some things that you like to see on courses and how are you incorporating them at Dove Creek?
Oh, things I like to see on courses and incorporating them. Well,
Windmills.
Yeah, windmills. That was our nod to what they do at Burbine with the canoe. Figured we'd had to kind of do that. No, I mean, I like a lot of different things at courses. One of the things that I love, we weren't able to put this in the course, but I love when you're shooting from an open area into kind of an enclosed area. So think 12 at Heiser Creek, think 10 at Stonykill, where you're kind of going from a really open area down into an enclosed area. I really, really, really like that. We didn't have a lot of that at Dove Creek. The terrain back there is pretty difficult. It's a lot of elevation heavy, kind of mountainous terrain. I love long downhill shots. So there is one at Dove Creek. I wouldn't say long, about 360 feet, but it's always really fun to throw downhill. Any kind of, water feature that I love.
You're also a big babbling brook kind of guy.
Yeah, well, when you see it, Corey, you'll see why it's down there.
Well, I hope they hear it first. I want to hear that brook babbling.
What about cows? Is that an important feature on a course?
It was not an important feature, but it is a really cool feature that we were able to get. So there's a farm that's near Dove Creek, and the farm is up on the hill. But there's this weird patch of sun that gets through the trees that is right next to the creek. And right next to the creek is this really nice, lush area of green grass that never gets touched by anything because it's on the other side of the creek, which is fenced off, and it's down a hill about 50 feet. And these cows, every day, they lumber down from their plains up top, and they come down the hill, and they go into the creek. They drink the water from the creek. They munch on the grass there, and we actually had a cow that escaped the barbed wire fence there, and we found him on hole 15. We showed up one day, and all of a sudden, there's a cow on hole 15 sitting there. So we now have this, this running thing that if you get lucky, you'll see a cow while you play the course. But if you were down there, you would never ever expect to see a cow in the creek bed, like 100 feet down from the actual area where the cows are.
Lucky. That doesn't sound lucky to me, but
it's fun. It's just a fun thing to see. I would say it's lucky because it's a notable thing. See, we're talking about it right now.
Yeah, okay.
And then who knows? Maybe the next tournament will be cow themed. We'll see.
Kind of like the Jamie, what was it? The first tournament. Didn't it had a cow on the stamp?
Whipple City.
Yeah.
Oh, was that the current one?
Both. Christ the King used to be a Black Angus cattle farm.
What are things you don't particularly like to see on a course? Any pet peeves, any, shot shapes that you don't particularly like?
I like all shot shapes. I don't like when there are too many blind holes in a row where you have no idea where the basket is. You can't see them from the tee pad. Obviously, to make longer shots, there's going to be need for that. But if the whole course is that way, it's pretty difficult, especially if you're playing it the first time.
I thought a slam dunk was going to be like too many righty holes on this course.
Well, what happens is when I go play a lefty hole, people always joke all the time and say, it's a lefty hole. And then I always shank it or do something bad on that hole. Yep, perfect for you, Terry. And then they go ahead and yank it somewhere.
You notice they always point out those holes, but they never point out the other 10 that aren't perfect for you. Because I do it. That's the only reason I know.
I do like when there is a good amount of left and right holes. Sean and I, we actually took that to heart. We didn't want to make two holes that were the same back to back. We didn't want to make two holes that were too similar on the course. We wanted to be kind of neutral. We just played, Flat Rock is very lefty friendly course. I mean, I think out of the 18 holes there, at least 12, 13 of them were lefty friendly. I think you need to be more neutral. I think you need to be kind of 50-50. So we purposely designed that in the course. So I do like that. What don't I like? Undefined fairways. I don't like it when it doesn't look like there's a fairway anywhere in the course. There's a few at J Park like that. There's a few at Heiser like that where you can't see where you're throwing. You really can't pick out the gap. And then the other thing I don't like about some courses are tee pads that are too narrow. If the tee pad is 4 feet wide, it's too narrow. And it really does affect my shot a lot of times because I step out wide at the end. So those are my two main gripes. And I made sure I did not have any undefined fairways at Dove Creek. And all the tee pads are 6x10.
Jamin, is that something that you think about with tee pads?
When possible, I think that length is much more important on a tee pad than width. But yeah, I think that you're not stepping out 5 feet wide. I can tell you that much.
That's fair.
My rebuttal to that, Jamin, is correct. You're not stepping out 5 feet wide. But if you're staying in the middle of the tee pad, you really only got 2 feet on each side to step, whether you're righty or lefty. So when it's narrow, it kind of limits your angle at which you can do your walk up or your run up, right? It's you're pretty much limited to one angle. which is what I don't like about it.
All right, Terry. You can interpret this as F, Marry, Kill, but we'll do it as start, bench, cut. And let's go with your friends from the course: Sean Collins, Chris Wilson, and Will Cable.
That's a good one. Oh, how do I cut any of those guys? That's not cool.
Sorry.
All right, if I'm cutting somebody, I'm cutting you, Will. I'm sorry, and it's only because he's been working an awful lot lately. So he's an arborist. He cuts down trees. He does that for a living. So he was super helpful. Obviously, we made him do all the tough cuts, so us lay people didn't get hurt. And I watched this guy cut down so many trees where the tree just kind of like, he cut them down in pieces and they just fell straight down. It was amazing. The arborists are amazing when they cut down trees like that. But he's been working a ton lately, so he hasn't been out there. But he is going to be playing in the tournament. He's got a wicked forehand that I wish he threw more of. So I'm sitting you. If I'm going to start anybody, I'm going to start. It's going to be Sean, and it's going to be Sean purely because if we're playing on the team and I got to start him, he's a righty. I'm a lefty. Chris Wilson's also a lefty. So you don't want to start two lefties. You want to have a lefty-righty combo. So I would start Sean, bench Chris, and I'm cutting you, Will. Sorry,
Will.
If you're out on the course and you're looking to shoot your best round, but also have the most fun that you can with a group of guys or girls, who are the three other people on your card that you're looking to have on that round?
That's a good question here. Evan's going to be there. Evan is Mr. Vibes. You know, who's another good vibe is Eric. I'm going to give Eric Struna, who's not on today.
And so he won't listen. So it's all good.
Yeah. And then, I've been playing a lot with him. I really enjoy playing with him. Aaron Holpe.
Great guy to have on the
He'd
card.
also be on there. Oh, he's great. And he's so good, too. I really hope he plays New England Team Challenge next year.
Well, Terry, we'd all be lucky to be on a card with you because Terry's got probably the most consistently positive energy of anybody this side of Sparky Spalding. Playing with Terry is so much fun because he loves to see a good shot, even if it's not his, just happy for everybody, and it's always a good time.
You just got to get used to his warm-up swing.
Oh, yeah.
The full speed fake out.
The full speed fake out where everyone looks for the disc, but it's still in his hand.
We had a guest last week, so we're behind on some of our Team Challenge talk. There was a match this past weekend, but last weekend there were two. The Lemonheads at Stony Brook and the Crane Toads at Stonykill. Eric, heads or tails?
Tails never fails.
Facts.
Okay, it was heads, so you guys go.
Damn it.
Well, it wasn't a coin, it was a weed container lid, so.
Still counts.
All right, so we got the Crane Toads at Stonykill. What's Stonykill's record going into this week?
Stonykill's record going into this week is 0-4, which is a little bit unfortunate. We effectively lost 2 coin flips. We had 2 matches that were tied down to the wire, and we did our final playoff type of thing and lost both of them. So just as easily could have been 2-2, but 0-4 going into this weekend.
How's team morale so far?
Well, I would have said pretty good, but then again, we also had trouble scraping together people for Saturday. Of the people that showed up, morale seemed pretty good. I'm sure it's just a tough weekend again. I was pretty ranty about the Chatham Hills thing, but it's winter and it's snowy and it's awful weather and there's a lot of things going on. So sometimes it just results that you can't always have a whole bunch of people at every match.
Absolutely.
We were a little bit worried about the weather, or at least I was. Looking at the forecast, there was a little bit of snow overnight, but there wasn't really much to affect things too much. It was just leftovers from the previous couple of weeks. Luckily, it had been raining for basically the entire week, on and off, so it had kind of slushed up, crusted over a little bit, but still plenty of it and plenty to lose your disc in, so ribbons were still recommended.
What's the Crane Toads record?
They were also 0-4.
Okay.
So they also seem to be struggling a little bit.
So how'd matchups go?
Other than the roster issues, matches went pretty well. The way things worked out is it's an 18-player minimum, at least 2 of which must be ladies. Crane Toads showed up with 17 guys and 1 lady, so they were going to take some penalty points there. But we showed up with 14 guys and 3 ladies, so we were short 1 player, and we were going to have to play ladies against guys in order to not get additional penalty points there. Because of how the penalty points work, we ended up getting 2 points for having the extra lady, and they ended up getting 1 point for us being short a player, so it netted out into a bonus for us.
If penalty points worked out like that, why not just wash them out into 1 penalty point?
So I was doing a bunch of research on the penalty points. going in, just to try and figure out, where we're going to have to play ladies versus guys, or we're going to, be penalized for however that works out. And the penalty points are actual points, and they contribute to points percentage. So if you just netted it out where it was just 1 bonus point for us, as opposed to 2 bonus points for us and 1 bonus point for them, it deflates the points percentage calculation. So you gotta have the actual numbers.
Interesting. Thanks.
I would also think it's better to just have them all out there, less confusion.
Yeah.
That was a semi-rhetorical question because somebody posted it on Facebook and Alex explained it like that, which makes sense. If they go away, then you don't accurately reflect the percentage of available points that you got.
Yeah. Other than that, things went pretty clean. Stonykill's a team that does a pretty good job of defending home course territory. So we knew we had a pretty solid advantage going in. When results started coming in, we had like 7 or 8 wins to their like 2 or 3. And it evened out over the course of, the rest of the people coming in. But I was feeling pretty good at the beginning, and being able to keep track via whiteboard was great.
Heck yeah. All right. You put yourself out first, it looks like, Alex?
Yep. I threw myself out first, played against Kelly Conroy, who is one of their guys who's relatively good. I mean, a good chunk of them are relatively good, but it was a pretty close match. He had the lead for a good chunk of it, but I don't think he ever led by more than 1 or 2 points. Towards the end, I was able to claw a few back. He was struggling a little bit on the putting green. Not that he missed any that I feel like he should have made, but basically anything, 25 to 30 feet, he was struggling to make contact or make the good putting stroke that he needed. So I was able to take a few. I don't think there's any specific hole that was particularly exciting. Nobody really did anything too crazy. It was just a couple of strokes that I was able to get on our back 9, which is the front 9 of Stonykill. As I was showing up, getting everybody checked in and everything, Jay Gorsuch showed up, and I'm like, can we play you today? Unfortunately, he's already rostered for the disc captains, but he was, keeping track of the app, and he went out and spotted on hole 6. That made things nice and smooth in the morning, and we made sure to get him some food and beer at lunchtime.
Oh, nice. Was Randy a throwout or a response?
I believe Randy was a response. Yeah, that tracks for how these look.
Yeah, I had a good match. I played with JP. I feel like we haven't been on the same card in a while. His opponent was actually Ryan Nelson's good friend, Tim, who I met at the Stonykill Scramble doubles tournament. So it was nice to have a familiar face in that card. My opponent, Jarrett, cool guy. We did not push a hole until 12 holes in, I think. It was kind of a battle, but I got a really early lead. I had messaged Ryan, just let him know that I was hanging out with his friend Tim, and he responded oh, don't kill this guy, because I was up 5 on him through the first 7 holes or something. Then I immediately let him score 3 in a row on me and brought it back to a much more reasonable score. But then we got to the back 9, which is just a little more difficult. I had a little bit of a distance advantage, and I got a couple in there and got a few pushes to finish off the match. So finished 4-3. Pretty happy with that one.
A couple other on your guys. You got Joe Jelinas, who just had a birthday, right, Alex?
Yep, just a couple days ago.
Mindy Potts, Austin Swart Max Horowitz, Nick Terra Labithia, Sam Richter got a win, Travis Steeltoe Bashore, and Alden Slack.
Just want to do a quick shout out to Kat Bemis and Megan Mercier, who both played against guys on their team and did very well. They weren't able to bring home the points, but we were able to avoid penalty points and get a couple of bonus points out of it. So big thank you to them. My mom also won her match, which was great.
So you guys are up 12-8 after singles. That's with you guys getting 2 points, them getting 1. I mean, you guys are at home. Any notables about the spread?
My mom did breakfast sandwiches again, which has been a really good thing. People seem to really enjoy those. I made peanut butter chocolate chip cookies, which people seem to like. Unfortunately, that meant we couldn't bring mac and cheese, so the Bemis I stepped up and brought that this time. So that was nice. No, yeah, I think we were a little bit light on players, but I think everybody showed up and brought some really good food, so I don't think there were any complaints as far as I could tell on the spread.
We're going to have to, at some point, go back. Bemis or Bemi?
I like Bemis. It's, I think, the more fun way.
Okay, it's definitely more
is
fun.
Probably better way. I think Bemis might be the technical way, but that's not fun enough. Yeah.
No, I like that you were going with the fun. So
yeah,
It's a moot point. Cow's opinion. You're absolutely right. Did you have any notes on the spread, Randy?
I think it was a normal good spread, even though we're missing some people. Nick T brought a bottle of Buffalo Trace and specifically called me out. He was like, I brought this so you could have some. I'm like, awesome.
What is it?
It's a bourbon.
It's a pretty dang good bourbon.
It's a quality one, yeah. You know, had a little lunch, and then at the end of the day, there was, I don't know, I'm going to guess like 5 shots worth at the bottom of it. And he was like, oh, you want to take this home? I'm like, no, you got it. And he just walked away without it. So I had a little bit more, and then I gave it to the other team, and they all killed it before they left. So it was a well-used bottle.
All right, so 4 points up going into round 2. What's the thinking, Alex?
There's 2 things I'm thinking about. First up is it started raining. It had kind of been, wintry mixing just a little bit towards the end of the first round, but it really started to actually rain during lunchtime. So I was worried we were going to have umbrellas and stuff, but luckily that cleared up by the end of lunch. There was a little bit more that came down, but it wasn't too intense. And the other thing was, trying to put together doubles teams. We've gotten odd numbers. There's going to be a singles. Because of the way the penalty points work, we didn't actually need 8 points. We just needed 7 because math. I don't even know how it works, but
I'm just curious. You said in the round 1 you had 2 women playing against guys to avoid penalty points, correct?
Correct.
Is it possible to do a 2-woman doubles team in the same way, or does that not even apply?
Yeah, so if we had the first throw, we could have thrown out 2 ladies, and they would have had to match with a mixed card.
Okay.
I guess technically it doesn't matter who went first, but whenever they threw their mixed card, because they only had 1 lady, they were going to have to do a mixed card. We could have responded with 2 ladies, but the way we ended up doing it, we didn't end up doing that.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah. We just ended up going with 3 mixed cards, and I think they all worked out very nicely.
Okay, so you got 3 mixed cards. What do they have to match with?
So they ended up throwing mixed first. So that was their mixed. They stuck with that and didn't need to worry about anything else. So anytime they threw out a doubles pair, we had the option to match with a mixed card, just because, those ladies are filling men roster spots effectively.
Okay.
Yeah, going down the list, the matchups felt pretty good. I played with Sam, as I usually do. Ended up playing against Tim Moyer and Corey Paul. Tim was the guy Brandy was talking about in round 1. We talked to him a little bit about Ryan and all that. But yeah, he was playing really, really well, Tim was. I think he effectively shot 8 down playing singles in round 1 on the front 9, which was really killer. Corey was definitely helping out, but Tim just had an incredible number of really good shots to take us out, unfortunately. Nothing really to report on our round as far as what we were doing. We played relatively steady, maybe missed 1 or 2 that we could have gotten, but nothing super disappointing. It was just very slushy and trudgy because the rain had melted the snow even more. So everything was getting soaked every time you set down your bag or even had to walk a couple of feet. So a little bit of annoying second rounds. And I think that was a big decision maker as to who was playing in the monthly on Sunday. But yeah, nothing too crazy.
You shot -8. You only lost by a stroke. They had to do pretty well to beat you.
Yeah, and they shot very well. Like nothing against them. We definitely could have had a couple more strokes, but they also, on our very last hole, which is hole 9, they had an incredible second shot. They were off the fairway, off their first shot, and their second shot put them, we assume, within circle 2, but we couldn't find the disc, so they ended up having to go back to the other one, which was very rough because it was in the fairway. Like it's one of those discs that as soon as the snow melts, it'll be right there, but that's going to be a while now that we're getting another 12 inches on top of that.
Mm-hmm. Randy, you played with Tyler. How'd that go?
It was good looking at the whiteboard app because now you can instantly find out your record for the season. Going into this, I had no wins in doubles, and I think all of them were playoff losses. Maybe 1 was in regulation, like on the final hole. But basically going into this match, my season was rough in doubles, and it was almost always in a playoff. So I didn't want that to happen again. We show up to the tee, we're playing what I would call a younger guy and a very old guy. And, you have expectations. You're thinking the old guy's going to be a good putter, other guy's going to be the driver. And they did that, except the young guy could also putt. Yeah, so Brent was immediately hitting putts from like 60 feet when, we were pretty parked. So we were pretty much matching the whole time. We started on hole 6, which is, pretty much a must get par 4. I think 6 through hole 9, both of them took turns hitting putts in circle 2 just to stay tied with us, it's pretty frustrating. Like, we were throwing really good tee shots and they were just landing 50 to 60 feet away and just making every one of them. It put a damper on us pretty quickly. We got to the back 9 and we pushed just a lot of holes kind of in a more normal way. I figured out hole 18 with a ribbon, and now I'm worried about going back to normal. I've been disking up a lot in the winter, so I've been throwing like a fairway driver instead of a mid on hole 18 and landing in this like perfect landing zone. So in the spring, people are gonna have to tell me to take that ribbon off. But I think we were up a stroke for a while, and then they tied it up at some point, and all of a sudden we're finishing on hole 5, which is in doubles a absolutely must birdie, and you should probably try and ace run it. We're tied. They who was it? Brent threw an overhand, and it was just absolutely perfect. Landed just left of the basket. We even heard it like tap the tree to the left, which with the snow on the ground, you know that thing is just sitting a foot away. There's nowhere for it to go. Tyler went first off the tee. He pretty much went first all day, and his was like okay. It was almost basket height, but it was, I'm gonna say 40 to 50 feet left. So really, I should have been thinking just park it and move on to a playoff. But, you know, the nerves get up there. I'm thinking like I'll give it a bid for ace to maybe just end it now. It's a hole I've aced before. I've hit metal a bunch of times. And instead, I just throw it way too hard, hit one of the trees up near the basket on the right side, and I'd come like all the way back down the hill. So we're taking that putt from like 40 to 50 feet left. And, you know, I'm kind of furious with myself. It's a tee shot I never mess up. And Tyler, out of nowhere, just goes, Randy, go make this putt. And he pretty much always putts first also. So we're totally breaking our routine. I just step up to it. It's like a must straddle because it's on the hillside, and I somehow just dead center cash this long putt. So we're going to a playoff for like the 100th time this season in doubles. I didn't look at my phone at all after this point because I didn't want to know if the playoff mattered or not. I just really wanted to win it. Play hole 6, pretty normal, 7 normal. I think just birdie. That's what you're supposed to get on those holes. We get to hole 8, and Tyler just put one literally under the bucket, and they were, 50 feet away, and we just won it with a nice tap in, kind of stress-free somehow.
As stress-free as a 3-hole playoff can be.
Yeah, it was a lot. I really wanted to win that one, and I'm really happy we did.
I do like he's got the little 3 there. Mind you, it looks like you guys shot 49 to the power 3, but looks like Travis Bashore and Minnie Potts won their match. That was a straight-up mixed, right?
Yeah, that was the actual mixed pairing.
Austin played singles and won. Joe Jelinas and Connor Eckhart got the win. Nick Terravoro and John J.P. Hafner not only got the win, but they had the hot round for the day. Max Horowitz and Steve Tiska won. Alden Slack and Megan Mercier. Now, that's the hot round for a mixed pair with the tamale.
Correct. Yeah.
With a -8. So you guys 15-5 for a total win of 27-13.
Yeah, it's a good win by a good solid amount. Basically the best result we could have expected in doubles. We are feeling relatively good. We're looking at, or at least I'm looking at the overall standings, and we're close to like 50% point percentage at 1-4, which is just really crazy. But it's going to take at least one more win to have a good chance of avoiding relegation. And if we get 2 more wins, depending on how much we win by, then we have a pretty good chance of making finals. I think there's like a 60% chance of a 3-win team making finals at the moment. So who knows? But, just win the next one. That's always the plan.
Heck yeah. And when is the next one?
2 weeks. We have March 7th is our match against Queen City. They're coming to us. Queen City's a real strong team, but it's nothing we can't handle, especially at home. If we play like we did on Saturday, then we're going to be feeling really good. Then we have March 31st will be our neutral match against Wedge. And we haven't exactly locked down a location yet. A contributing factor is we're thinking New England Disc Golf Center is closing down. So they're going to relocate finals, and we're still figuring out what that is.
So where finals might be where you're at.
Exactly. Wedge has 2 wins at the moment with at least 2 matches left, so they've got a pretty good chance of making finals as well. So either way, it's probably going to be relevant for at least one of us. So if it's somewhere that's relatively local to us, I think there's a good chance we'll go there.
If finals turns out to be in like Maine and you guys don't want to travel there, have it at Warwick.
Right? Wilcox is a leader right now. Warwick's definitely a good choice.
Actually, that makes the most sense, I think. The Battle of the Taconic.
Exactly. You know, it's about an hour from either course, which ends up being a real nice setup.
You are making them drive the worst 20-mile stretch in New York.
In New York, yeah. Feeling good that we won. That's the biggest thing. It's been a good weekend for sports for teams I support.
Yeah, finally get a first win, and Randy's still going to playoffs. I mean, that guy's been in more playoffs this year than anybody.
Exactly.
All right, so we had one other matchup this week, the Lemonheads at Stony Brook. Evan, where's Stony Brook?
Stony Brook is in Richmond, New Hampshire, which is about 35 minutes due north from Flat Rock, where we had our first match this year.
How far is it from your house?
Normally, it would be about 2 hours and 10 minutes if you go across the southern part of Vermont into New Hampshire. Friday night, as we were checking weather and watching the snow outside and checking Google Maps, it was closer to a 3-hour trip to get there. And based on what it looked like on the Google Maps kind of traffic view, Tim kind of wisely decided it made more sense for us to take I-90, which we figured would be in better shape by the morning.
All right. What's your record going into this match?
Going into the match, we were 3-1. Our only loss was on the road at Pyramids, where we lost by just 1 point.
And what's Stony Brook's record?
Going into this, good question. Tim, do you remember off the top of your head?
0-4.
Oh, right. Sorry. Stony Brook is 0-4 coming into this one, Pat.
All right. I made a mental note to mention this during the previous matchup, but I do have to give credit where credit is due. Temperature is on tcwhiteboard.com.
I seen it.
Just reminds you that people actually listen to this.
Yeah. Is that 29.5 degrees for round one?
And 4.5 miles of wind.
Okay. It was either that or 45 mile an hour wind. I don't have my glasses on.
No, it was not 45.
Actually, I say I'm an old man. I can hold control and scroll. So if I needed to, there it is. 4.5 miles.
Zoom it a little bit more. Yeah.
All right. So you're 3-1. They're 0-4. What other research you got going on with these guys?
Again, Tim and Devin really killing it in the scouting department this year. My feeling is, 3-1 versus 0-4. If you look at, the points percentage, they have not done very well this year scoring points, but I didn't want to underestimate them because it's always difficult going on the road in team challenge. And it would be a shame to go in expecting to just have an easy day and then not have that be the case. So that was my concern, but I'll hand it off to Tim as far as the research and maybe how he adjusted their ratings playing at home.
Yeah, what Evan said. I was very conscious of not trying to underestimate the team. So I went through and looked at a lot of what there were a few tournaments that were actually at this course that when it was a 9-hole layout, and there were some rated rounds that a lot of these players had. So I went and looked at that. If I just went off like a PDJ rating or who they've played already in Team Challenge, some of these players probably would have had a lower rating or lower number I was using. But there were a few players on this team that, like the tournament rounds that they had at this course were like 950, 960, 945 rated, but their actual rating was in like the high 800s, low 900s. So I gave probably their top 4 or 5 guys a pretty good bump just so that we, keep it from underestimating them, because it does appear that they play this course pretty well when there's not 18 inches plus snow on the ground.
When Tim shared the heat map in our group chat, there was a little surprise. I think some of our players expected to see it a little more favorable, again, based on them being 0-4, but Tim having baked in that kind of home field advantage for some of their players, I think that helped put the team a little on alert too. Like, this might not be, the walk in the park that we initially might have thought.
Evan, did you play any practice rounds here?
Yeah, so I had gone out, forget what month that was. That was the time I went out solo and I got an ace on hole 9, but I only played the 9 holes that day. Tim and I went out on the 9th of February, and apparently the first ones that had been there in weeks, it was 2 feet of snow. It was a beautiful day, but it was brutal. We played the full 18 and it took at least 3 hours.
Oh my.
So I'd been there twice.
Tim, just the one time?
Just the one time, and it was miserable.
That day, Tim's ribbons kept progressively falling off. By the end of the round, I think he had 1 disc he was willing to throw.
Yeah.
That was an experience.
Yeah, I played like the last hole, which is like 40 feet or something like that with a proxy, and just chucked it until I could walk off the course and get back in my car.
And Eric, going into this match, had you played this course before?
No, never. And I had only really asked Tim, like, what could he relate it to a course around here? And he said Heiser Creek. So that was kind of what I was expecting, but a lot less elevation. Yeah, but going into a blind, never underestimate a team, especially on home field in conditions like that, for sure.
Plan originally was for Tim to come to my house in Troy and then to take the Vermont route. Looking at the factors, we said, let's meet at the Park and Ride, the one that I famously overslept for, the Pyramid Smash. Yeah. For this match, I actually woke up at 3:30 in a sheer panic because I somehow thought I'd overslept again. So I was up bright and early and got to the Park and Ride well ahead of time. Eric did go Friday, though.
You could watch the hockey game getting up at 3:30. Eric, you went Friday? Did you get there early enough to play a practice round?
No, but to avoid doing what Evan did, and because I knew just learning from this season, those longer drives, it would be just nice. That's the veteran move. If you can do it and you can afford it, it's definitely worth it. So we went out and we basically followed the storm. I took the little sweet baby angels, Brandon Klein and Josh Lee. So I had precious cargo with me. And my only goal was to get us there safely. And I couldn't imagine we couldn't have timed it worse, actually. We basically followed the storm if we weren't in the middle or eye of it the entire way out there. But, we took it slow and we I think it took maybe 4 hours to get there, to get to Keene, which is 30 minutes north, and just stayed at a small motel there. And Terry Hudson actually drove out later and met us there as well.
I went out early the night before during the snowstorm. And I don't know how your guys' drive out was the morning of, but it was a brutal drive through that snowstorm out into New Hampshire. Got in around 9 o'clock, 9:30. Did some hanging out with Struna, Josh Lee, and BK, Brendan Klein. Woke up 6:45 feeling refreshed. Glad that I didn't drive out the morning of.
Was Jacob at your hotel too? Did I hear that?
He was. He just passed Josh in the morning at the continental breakfast that they have at the Days Inn.
Jacob Bethel?
Jacob the Butler Bethel, yes.
Oh, can you explain that? The Butler?
The Butler thing?
I think it was during a round recap, and Eric mistakenly called him Jacob Butler, and we corrected him. And now it's a running joke on the team. He is Jacob the Butler Bethel at your service.
That is, yeah. Oh, it's a callback.
I didn't know if that was referencing something else, so I just wanted to double check.
Nope, just totally me just mistaking his name as I do with most people.
That's a shame, Eric. I have never, ever mistaken anybody's name on this podcast, so shame on you, sir.
Well, I should do better. I know I got to do more.
We got a good nickname out of it.
Yeah.
We kind of convinced most of our team that ribbons was the way to go, as much as nobody likes it.
No, it was a necessity. Yeah,
it was necessary.
Yeah.
A, losing disc. B, the time wasted looking. So everybody was sharing pics in the group chat Friday night of the ribbon parties. And
first time ribbon party, actually. I joined the party. I learned my lesson at J Park 100%.
All right.
You live and learn.
Absolutely.
And so with that in mind, with the snow and the conditions, their captain, Alyssa, who, shout out Alyssa, was super chill the whole way, scheduling the match, leading up to the match, dealing with all this stuff. They basically proposed that they wanted to do a 14-hole layout to avoid some of the holes that play across the brook because there was so much snow, you didn't really know where it was safe to stand. So she wanted to skip 4 holes, which I was fine with. And she said, we're a new team. I don't want to break any rules. Is this okay? The rules do say that a layout should be no more and no less than 18 holes. And my other feeling on that, too, with match play is that a lot can happen in the last 4 holes of a round. So I wouldn't want anybody to feel like they got shortchanged. So we agreed to do the 14 holes. And then if they needed to play 18, they would just loop back to their starting hole and play the first 4. The weird thing there is that not every card is replaying the same holes, but you're playing the layout with your opponent. So that's kind of important. And it also provided a wrinkle for TC Whiteboard, but not to get ahead of ourselves. But Jay Gorsage continues to be a wizard and was awesome with that.
And shout out Justin for taking the lead on our side.
Yeah.
When you say need to play the last 4 holes, so we're 14 holes through, me and Evan are playing, and he's up 3-1, we'll say. We would keep going, right?
Right. So like a match, I think the quickest a match could end would be after 10 holes, right? You could win 10 and 8. That would be the shutout.
Yeah.
But you might need 18, you might get a push after 18. And she was cool with the idea of replaying it. We kind of had to explain it to all the players on both teams. Like mid-round, Joe Karen came up to me to clarify because the guys on the other team thought it meant they had to play 14. But it was just... I
still don't understand it, actually.
If you need 18 holes, go back to where you started and keep going. But, if you won 8 and 6, your match is over, so you don't have to worry about it. You know what I mean? It was just to give everybody a full match play round. That was the goal.
Alex, what's your thoughts on that? If you were presented this same scenario, what would you be thinking as a visiting same team?
Yeah, my instinct is instead of going to where you started and looping through, just keep looping through the course.
Well, you would be going back to where you started because we only had those 14.
I guess you'd have to, yeah.
Yeah, so if you started on 1 and you got all the way to hole 18 and you only played 14 holes, then just go to hole 1 and play 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you started on 9, your 14 holes would have ended on hole 8, so then you'd continue to 9. You'd go back to wherever you started. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think my instinct would be to try to have everyone go back to 1, but that would throw everything off. Because now some people play hole 10 twice, some people play hole 1 twice. You know?
Yeah, it was weird for sure.
Yeah.
I had asked Jamin over, Messenger kind of what he thought about it, and his answer was, do whatever benefits your team. So I was like, all right, this, like I said, it feels good to me, and she was cool with it.
It clearly worked out for you, whatever you did, and it's an awkward situation. I don't think there's any guaranteed right or wrong answer.
What do you think, Randy?
I think it's cool. Other than the only way to game it would be to do the hole assignments after and purposely assign your big throwers to start on the holes that are the longest. That's really the only way you could do it.
In case they get to that point and they still need it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say every hole in this course is a par 3. I mean, some of them are over 400 feet, and some of our players pointed that out during lunch. Hey, I had to play these holes twice, but they only had to play, this other hole twice. So it was weird.
Yeah.
Using an example that we've set precedents on the podcast, Alex at Stonykill saying, well, I'm going to put me on hole 10 because that means I get to play 10 again. And I'm going to put Randy on hole 5 because he's got a noodle arm and he could play 5 again. You know what I mean? And I'm using you as an example, Randy, not necessarily that you have a noodle arm.
And listen, maybe she did that because after all the, the player matchups were set, we walked away and huddled up while they did the whole, starting holes. That was up to them. So maybe she did that. I don't know. I don't think so. She was, again, very cool all throughout. But at the end of the day, you're playing one person and you guys are playing the same layout. So go out and beat your person.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like of you guys, Tim was the first. Tim, were you a throwout or were you a response?
I was a throwout.
And they responded with Paul Hubner Jr. the third?
Yes.
How'd that go?
So during my run through, Paul was a little bit higher rated than I was. I think he was 908, 910, somewhere around there. And he did not play 900 rated golf. So we get to the first hole and we started on hole 8, which has a double mando and is just a hyzer flip and it's like a blind basket. You can't really see it. We get out there. I played with Levi V and he played against Ian Paul. So right off the bat, Levi and we have pretty good drives. Paul and Ian do not have good drives. Paul hit a tree before the first mando and I don't even know where Ian went, but we basically played that first hole and they have tap-ins for bogey and Levi is 35 feet out and I'm probably 40 feet out and Levi's just there. He's ready to go and he just smashes the putt right on the first hole. And then I line up and I'm like, all right, well, Levi does it. I'm going to do it. So I smash my putt from a little bit further out and both the other team look at it and it's like, okay, so this is the type of day this is going to be. On the second hole, hole 9, the one that Evan aced during his practice round, I get up, I pump it 45 feet long past the basket. Levi's 35 feet from the basket, and then they hit trees off the tee. One of them has to search for his disc for 15 minutes. We get up there, and I hit band on my putt from 45 feet deep. And as we walk to the tee of the next hole, Paul goes to me, he's like, if you keep doing this, we'll finish on hole 1, and then I can just eat lunch. I was talking to Evan after round. I'm like, he out-timmed Tim. He was already out of the match after 2 holes. So I think I was up 5 on him through 5 holes. I don't think I missed the line. I missed 2 putts the entire round. Both of them were they were 30-footers. One was just too high on the top of the band. The other one went over the top. But I lost 1 hole and we finished on the hardest hole of the course, which was hole 4, which is,
420.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's 420, par 3, and there is absolutely 0 line on this hole. I just have this beautiful flip up hyzer that goes, they have a red tee that's 220 feet out from the basket, and I was probably 100 feet past that. I had a nice little jump putt up and a tap in to win the match, and I ended up winning 8 and 6.
Heck yeah, and Levi won 7 and 5, so you guys didn't even have to worry about the last 4 holes, right?
Nope, we didn't even get there, but I do have a funny story about Levi. So Levi's never played with ribbons before. So on hole 17, he throws his disc and and the ribbon is wrapped around his finger. So as the disc comes out, it comes out straight of his hands and then catches and goes 90 degrees the other way, 150 feet off the tee. So he gets out there, throws a forehand, and then now is in a better position than the guy he was playing against on his second shot, and Levi ended up winning the hole. You just see it. I'm like, oh, I thought he grip blocked it. But then the second I looked at it, you could see that the ribbon was taut against his hand. It was one of the most ridiculous things. All four of us just kind of looked at each other. But yeah, Levi just smashed drives and smashed putts. He was having a great time.
Randy had a similar situation, was it last week or a couple weeks ago? And he didn't win that hole, I don't think.
Yep.
Yeah, Levi's built different.
Well,
Thank goodness.
Yeah, Levi did not bust out his shorts this time.
yeah.
So.
All right. Evan, you came out next. Were you a response or a put out?
I don't recall. That was Tim. Brian Monahan couldn't make it, so Justin Hickok stepped up as alternate captain, so he was helping during matchups. The main thing he did was put all the matchups into the whiteboard as they were happening. He was also our liaison with Jay Gorsage to get things set up for us. Like, Justin absolutely crushed it. Super shout out. Ever since I first met Justin in disc golf, I've absolutely loved him. He's just an awesome guy.
Good people.
I don't remember. Tim, was I thrown out or was I a response there?
You were a response.
Okay. And I don't remember where Ben Warren was on the heat map.
This was a treat for you.
Oh, was it?
Yes, it was.
So I was on card with B. Klein, and he was playing against Curtis. And Curtis's wife was walking with the card. She had a paper card. Me and B. Klein were both using TC Whiteboard for our scores. We started on hole 15. B. Klein and I both got a point right away on that one, but then the other guys both got it back on the next hole. Hole 16 is a super short. It's like 130 feet. And then after that, I kind of found my groove. After 7 holes, I think I was up 2. And we got to hole 4, the one Tim mentioned. Ben and I both threw our shots. We both kind of landed near that red tee, so we're both about 220 feet away. I think he went first. He was behind me. So I'm looking kind of ahead to see where the disc is going to go. I didn't actually watch him throw, but boy, did I hear his hand smack that tree, and it was sickening. He immediately dropped down to a knee, put his hand in the snow like an ice pack. So props to him for finishing the round, because that sounded terrible. But yeah, I was playing well, throwing good shots. My putt has been feeling really good. I've been practicing in the basement a lot, so a lot of confidence on, 20, 25 foot putts even. I step up to a putt now and it's like, oh, this is a basement putt. I've made this hundreds of times. So overall, I think he took 2 holes on me. We pushed 5 holes, but I won 7 of them. So I won 5 and 4. So we also did not have to repeat back for our card. I did stick around. Brandon and Curtis had a battle. They were back and forth. They ended up playing 17 of their holes, and Curtis won 2 and 1. But Brandon was, like I said, absolutely battling. It was back and forth, and he was a great teammate. He was pumping me up, and we had a good time there out in the snow.
Eric, you played Ben Fee? How'd that go?
Yeah, I met my match. Quite literally, right before the match, I just stumbled upon a guy. We just kind of linked up and just had a good vibe all of a sudden. I don't know why I didn't assume that was going to be the guy who I was playing. Of course it was. He out-Eric'd me, if that makes any sense. He was me, but like times 3. And I didn't know how to handle that. Just energy-wise, it was a whole thing. Honestly, I've never had the mental game, from other people, never bothers me, but he just knew me so well. It was so interesting and was so very good at that tactic. He's like, oh, I have to play casually. I can't play competitively. And I'm like, oh, my type of dude. All right, this will be like a chill match. And he was all into the mind games, 100%. He was one of their top players, I believe, but he was a whole vibe. The captain, who was awesome, Melissa, as Evan said, she was great to play with.
You guys were on a trips card, right?
We were on a trips card, yeah, so I'll give it the breakdown there. So I was playing with CK, Krista Kovac, and Terry Hudson. Krista was against Alyssa, their captain. Terry was against John. We started on hole 18. It was a fever dream. The guy was just a whole ball of energy. Yeah, I couldn't find my footing with him. So we ended with 4 and 3, which isn't too bad, but I was hoping to put some points on the board. Watching Krista play was awesome, of course, and got to talk with the captain a little bit and learn more about the course.
I'll give Terry his flowers right now. That was a big mismatch. That was probably the one of 2 mismatches when I was doing matchups.
So we ended up having a good time during the match. I got partnered up both times with Struna, and so that's why he was top of mind. We had a great time playing together. I ended up winning my singles match. I think it was 3 and 2.
Terry and Ross. Both of them got wins, so that was huge.
He fought for it. John definitely played super clean and really well. Terry held his own the entire time. It was awesome to watch. And I mean, it's insane. It's 2 feet of snow, but they did so well. We showed up. All the tee pads were shoveled. They did the best they could considering the conditions of the storm coming in. I can't imagine you can do much more, but they tried to make it as, cozy as possible. And
they paid somebody to plow the parking lot, which was huge.
It was.
That was some of the deepest snow I've ever played in. I don't know if I'd want to do that again. Hopefully we don't have to do that again, but they did a really nice job plowing. They did this really cool thing that I got shit on for mentioning. They made paths for everybody to walk on all the holes, which was really cool. So what that did was it stamped it down so that most of your walking was on solid-ish ground. Of course, you'd have to go off to get your disc, and then, you would be in 18, 20 inches of snow.
They did good. I think I gave her flowers for at least doing the best they could. And yeah, there's not much more you can do. It's winter disc golf. It's what we signed up for.
I've heard there's some teams that won't even pay for you to park, and they plowed the parking lot. So that's
whack.
Tim, did you plan on the Killer E's going up against guys named Ben?
They have 4 Bens on their team.
Too many Bens.
So in round 1, we mentioned him earlier, Jacob Bethely got a win, Patrick Jeffries, Joe Riley, Jack the King Kirby, Jonathan Klingler, Nick Cardone, Amber Stout, Mike Thomas, Ross O'Toole, Justin Hickok, Josh Lee, all got wins. So 15.5 to 5.5.
I do want to shout Amber out too, because she rolled her ankle the Saturday before the team challenge. So she messaged Evan and was like, I'm in rough shape. I'm going to go out Friday night, kind of see how I feel. And then we get there and she's like, I got a lidocaine patch on it. I got a compression sock. I got a brace on. I've got my shoes tied up tight. And also Sally, who she played, is I think like the 3rd or 4th highest rated woman in our pool. And for Amber to have an ankle and a half and to come out and beat Sally, she could throw the disc. So she was awesome. So for Amber to come out, get that win and be able to survive 2 rounds on a busted ankle, we owe her a ton for showing up.
I think she came from behind too.
Yeah, she did. She was down 2 and she won the next 4 holes is what she told me.
We asked Alyssa if Amber and Mike could be on the same card so he could carry her bag pretty much. It was, I thanked her probably about 10 times for even being there.
So Amber was stout.
Heck yeah.
Always is.
All right. So how was their spread at Stony Brook?
They had a great spread.
Spread was cool. No facilities. They did have a porta potty. So the course is on property owned by Jeff Potts as one of their players. He didn't play because he was injured, but he was there.
Any relation, Alex?
Not that I'm aware of.
The New Hampshire Pottses. Jeff was there when I went back in the fall for that practice round where I aced with another guy, Chris, who was there on the team as the course designers. So porta potty, they had folding tables and easy ups and a generator for the crock pots. There was hot coffee in the morning and donuts, which is awesome. Spread looked good. I typically, as usual, didn't eat much because I was, doing captain stuff and nervous and whatever. Although honestly, 15.5 to 5.5, I wasn't that nervous. I just,
You were excited. You had a different nerve.
Yeah, I guess that's probably a better way to put it. What'd you guys think of the spread?
I actually got time to eat because I was done at 11 o'clock. I don't think everybody else finished until closer to noon. When I realized how early it was, I was like, I should probably grab a plate now because by the time the nerves kick back in for doubles, I'll have had plenty of time to digest it. Their spread was awesome. They had a lot of good options. Their food was all good. They had a lot of baked goods too that were delicious.
Oh, I did have a nice caramel stuffed cookie.
Yes, that was great. I had no problems. And besides the J Park CTK match, this is the first time I've actually gotten to enjoy a lunch without any of the captain's problems that I usually have when I'm too nervous to eat.
No couch for you to chill on, though, sadly.
Yeah, no couch. That is true. Yeah, I didn't get to sit down.
I was actually very jealous. I saw a ton of people eating, and when I still had a few holes left, the spread was good. I mean, because it's Burbine-like conditions. You're in the middle of nowhere, but they had crock pots out and a super quiet generator, which was awesome.
Yeah,
no offense against loud ones.
Very quiet.
Yeah. I had some mac and cheese. There was pulled pork. There's always meatballs. They had croissants.
You said crescents.
And everything was hot and warm and ready to go. And everybody was charged up.
Somebody made sausage and biscuit, and that sausage gravy with biscuits, and that I had when it was still early at 11. That was really good. Somebody did a good job on it.
Somebody's from the South.
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite breakfasts. So when I saw that, I'm like, I got to get one of those.
The other thing that was going on during lunch was from hole 1, there was a short basket, and they had an ace pot challenge. So for $5, you could get 3 throws for a 50-50. she did that as a fundraiser to help pay for the plow. So I know a lot of people were getting into that. At one point I told her, I said, Miguel will keep buying chances until you cut him off. Like, we will not start round 2. Like, he will just keep throwing and throwing and throwing until he hits it. So I think eventually she said, okay, no more throws.
Does he prefer Miguel or Mike?
I feel like in person, everybody says Miguel, but I don't know. I don't know that he does or doesn't.
Just don't call him Sally, I think, honestly.
Just curious.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's the layout for round 2 for dubs?
So that came up during lunch. I heard about it from Miguel. I heard that the other team had the idea to only play 14 holes for doubles, which at first I was like, the rule says 18. But I feel like I've heard of other matches ending early or, time limit or, just because of daylight. So again, I reached out to Jamin. I also messaged Kenji, who wasn't on site.
He's hurt, right?
Yeah, he's kind of taken himself off the roster for the time being until he's feeling better. But they basically said, hey, if the captains both agree, it's fine. And so we talked about it real quick. So we agreed that was okay because that way it takes out the weird, everybody plays different repeat holes. So we're just going to do a 14-hole round for doubles. And that was the layout. So the same 4 holes that we skipped in round 1.
Alex, what are your thoughts on this?
I think the general idea is, if everybody's okay with it, you're playing the same number of holes. It's a little bit different than match play because the number of points available are different, while with stroke play, it's just straight up strokes. So it feels better to do 14 for doubles or anytime you're playing stroke play. So that seems reasonable.
All right. What are your thoughts, Randy? Anything different than Alex?
No, not really. There's no real advantage to be had unless your team has like no endurance whatsoever. That would be the only way to game it.
I think everybody was definitely kind of dragging a little because trudging through the snow all day is tiring. Yeah. It looked like there may be more snow kind of coming, and some of our players, Mike, Amber, CK, they're Western New York, so they had extra far to travel. So Alyssa and I agreed, and it made sense for doubles. And once again, shout out Jay Gorsage. He adjusted it so that it should only show the 14-hole layout, and par was 42.
And it does say TC winter 14 and overcast 31.7. Wind has gone down a mile an hour to 3.2.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so 10-point lead. You only need to win 3 of these double matches.
Correct.
The singles is
irrelevant,
especially with that half a point.
Right. I would say for me, the mood was relaxed. It was happy. We've done very well in doubles this year. Part of that is down to Tim and matchups, but a lot of it is down to our players, the way people pick each other up. So knowing we only needed 3 wins, I said, Tim, can you get me 3 wins? And he said, absolutely. We kind of went back and forth. We didn't want to overlook anything. We didn't want to make any mistakes, but we settled on we'll do singles. We don't need to do trips. And yeah, Tim can speak on the teams a little and how matchups went.
So yeah, one of the things with the doubles lately is I noticed after pyramids, they were definitely noticing trends in our doubles teams. So the last 2 matches, I've been trying to switch it up with Hillside and now this one to just throw more variety out there so that there's less data for someone to use against us. Because Hillside was the same case when we started throwing different teams. They were you could kind of tell they were off. They're like, oh, we haven't seen this before. So I took that into consideration. The fact that we only needed 3 wins, I took John Kirby and Josh Lee, just 2 of our stronger players, which is like, you guys are going to be one of the guarantees. And I'm going to give you a great matchup and you're just going to crush. Nick and Ross is another great team that we have that I really felt good about. Levi and myself, I felt good about too. And then the Joes. The Joes are another team that I thought was, I talked to Joe Riley beforehand. I'm like, you're a guaranteed win. So you're another one I'm going to give a good matchup to.
No pressure, Joe.
Yeah. Well,
no, Joe Riley
Joe Riley will live off that. I'll jump into the round real quick with a Joe Riley quote. We ran into them at one point and we asked, how's your round going? And Joe Karen goes, I'm playing like shit. Joe Riley goes, yeah, you are, but I'm playing great. So that's Joe Riley.
That's a great line.
Yeah, it was like one of those things like, speak for yourself. I'm playing awesome.
I think our first match, or one of our first matches, the story is Joe Karen was on the tee with the opponents waiting. Joe Riley walks up to start the round and looks at him and says, you guys ready to lose? So he's that guy, and I love him for it. We also definitely wanted to put Mike and Amber as a team, again, just because Amber was hobbled, literally. So we knew we wanted to do mixed, and we knew that it was up to us who would go first. In the first round, it was her choice, and she had us go first. But for doubles, it was going to be up to us who went first.
Which, I mean, not to go back, but that also played in our advantage, too, for us to go first and determine the trend.
So who did go first in doubles?
We did, because we wanted to guarantee that we had Amber and Mike. And I'm glad we did, because Amber had asked the first round, she said, I need CK or I need Mike on my card because I need someone I can feel comfortable relying on. So we wanted to guarantee that.
In singles, saying, hey, can we put these two on the same card is different than...
Right. If we had led off with a male team or a singles group, or, they could have responded with a ladies card, and then we would have to match that.
Mm-hmm.
So we could have done a lot of different things, but our priority was Amber. We want to give her that help. So we'll throw them first. And that threw Alyssa off, right, Tim?
Right off the bat, Alyssa goes, oh, that's what we're doing? So my assumption was she 100% wanted a ladies card, and she hadn't even taken into consideration a mixed card. She was done with matchups at that point, because after that, some of the comments she made too were like, I threw out Ian Coyne, and she goes, oh, well, I have an Ian too. I'll match him with him. After that whole thing, she just kind of was like, well, this is fun.
I mean, you asked her in the first round to put those two together, so you would think that she had some...
You would have thought. Yeah,
maybe.
At least an inkling that might happen.
Right.
And we've had other matches where the captain has come up to us at lunch and, either asked, hey, do you want to do trips, or what are you guys thinking? There was none of that, which is fine, because in New England, both teams have to agree to trips beforehand. So there's no way somebody could force it on the other. So once Tim and I agreed we didn't want to do it and we're going first, we know exactly what we're doing.
Now, what if they had said, hey, we want to do trips?
We would have said no.
You would have just said straight up no? Okay.
No thanks. Yeah, no thank you is what I think I would have said.
That's why Evan talks to the other cap.
Well, I mean, that's an important distinction, too. The strategizer might not be the communicator. So, no, it's good to know.
That is the case here. Yeah, at Flat Rock, they came up and asked us, and we were like, no thanks. And he was surprised. But, again, it's the rules.
To your point, you guys put out Amber and Mike. They had to match with a mixed pair, and then they go with the Galloways for their second throw out. So at that, you could already kind of tell at that point it's,
Right. They've already gone into just like, let's have fun card. Like, the strategy went out the window.
Are those brothers or?
I think so, yes. Yeah. I think they're brothers.
And who played them?
Terry and Eric.
How'd that go, Eric?
It actually went really well. I felt like during lunch break, I got some food and I had to do like a factory reset and just like go sit in the quiet for like 10 minutes. And then I just did practice putting for probably 20 minutes. Me and Terry went out. I was feeling good, just fresh start. Just needed to, get my bearings back together.
You seemed a little shook during lunch. I think you got outstruned.
I'm not even kidding. Usually mental games don't bother me, but I've never had somebody do me to me. Because I'm not really trying anything, but he's actually like trying to get in my head. Like, you'll never miss this putt. You got this, buddy. But like kind of genuine. But anyways.
We played with this guy, Ben F., who was one of the craziest guys that I'd ever played with. Really nice guy, was really out of his mind for the whole round. He was doing a good job being friendly and also getting in Eric's head. So even though I'm playing separately, I'm actually trying to help rein Eric in because this guy is in Eric's head. And it's funny because he was their highest rated, I think, right, Tim? He was their highest rated player at like 970 or something crazy.
He was like their second or third, but he was like 935, 940 somewhere.
Oh, okay. I was told he was their highest rated.
Yeah, I think he thinks he is.
Okay. Well, he thinks he's a lot of things.
Yeah.
I watched him ace, so he is pretty good. But he was in Eric's head. In fact, he even convinced Eric that if he made the putt, then Eric was done. But it was not the case. Eric still had like 4 holes left to go. So I was like, Eric, you're not out of it. Let's go. And Eric's like, thank you, because this guy's in my head. And so I think that set us up for a really nice dubs round.
How often do you play with Terry in doubles?
So we don't play that often. I think we talked about it, maybe the inception of TOP, which was like almost 3 years ago. So yeah, it was great to be up with him. And like Tim said, I think switching teams up was great. And this was a great opportunity to keep doing it. A couple of people came up and told us that Miles and Gavin were playing really strong. So we kept that in mind. But that was our mentality going in it, no matter what. We were just keeping pace with them. Terry was throwing almost lights out. He was really on point. I was putting really confidently. I was making putts.
Ate a light lunch, and then Eric and I got teamed up again for dubs. We played a couple guys that were pretty good. If you actually looked at their singles, I think the one guy we played beat Jacob, the butler, Bethel. And then the other guy we played tied Ian. who are both really good players on our team. So we went out and we knew we had our work cut out for us, and we ham and egged the crap out of that course. We did so well. You know, we took a bogey, but they did too, and then we just kept tying each other, tying. And then finally around hole, I want to say like 10 or 11, we ended up taking the lead. We held that lead for another few holes, and then with about 3 holes to go, we lost the lead on this really tight drive. We couldn't hit a long putt. And then hole 18, we fought back, and this guy had a really good putt. It was in. It should have gone in the basket. Those baskets for the back nine at Stony Brook were kind of temporary baskets, so the chains weren't great. And this guy threw what was to put them up by one. It went through the chains. I mean, it hit the chains and went spit out the other side. And when we came up on it, you could see that the chains had moved from their position. So either he pushed them out of position or they were out of position and he had just hit it. So we kind of felt like we got away with one. So we were tied going into the last hole, which was hole 1 for us. And hole 1 is kind of a little dog leg left, 250. The 2 times I'd thrown it earlier that day, because we played that one twice the first round, I used mid-ranges and came up short, like a little bit of an understable mid-range. So I swapped it out with a understable fairway driver, a Sycamore, which is kind of my trusty hold the line, maybe a little bit turn right, left, threw a nice backhand and put it within 25 feet of the basket. They had missed their putt, so had a chance to steal one from them. And I lined up there for the putt, and I threw what I thought was in, and it just took off and hit the right side of the chains and fell out. I thought about that missed putt the whole ride home, and the next week we lost in a 3-hole playoff. Tried our best, but didn't work out. But Eric and I had a great time, and like I said, we were great partners together, and I think we were like maybe 2 strokes off the hot round, so we threw really well together.
Heck yeah. Just to point out, Miles Galloway did push with Ian, but Jacob the Butler Bethel won up over Gavin Galloway.
Oh, he did? Okay. I thought he lost. But either way,
yeah,
that's still a tight match.
Really tight matches.
Yeah, no, Terry was playing great. I had a great time. I think we should have won that one, and it would have been really nice to get the point. And playing with Terry was great. He was letting me get my shots in, and he was just playing wonderful. Those Miles and Gavin were playing kind of lights out, putting out of control. They did miss one putt that technically should have. It was a made putt, and it slipped out. So it is what it is.
You still only went 17 holes.
Right, yeah, you still didn't even play a full 18. That's
true.
But still, nice shooting. 39 so far of everything we've heard. That's a hot round. You mentioned the Joe Riley. They played Ben and Ben, the Joes against the Bens, and won that match.
I think Alyssa did that on purpose because we had 2 Joes. So she's like, I'll do 2 Bens.
Yeah, do Ben, yeah.
Quick shout out to Patrick Jeffries, who played with Justin Hickok. Patrick Jeffries aced hole 10, which is the same hole that their Ben aced in round 1.
Oh, he was so mad. He was so upset. He's like, if somebody ever aced this, he literally, I guess, the whole time was manifesting it.
Well, Patrick did it in front of Ben Fee on the same card.
On the same card against them.
So
which is
against
wild.
the guy. But anyway.
The one in the diamond there?
Yes.
Yep. Nice. I like that it's in doubles too. I'm not saying that eventually there won't be anything in singles, but I like the little icons in doubles more.
No, because being able to rub it in Ben's face that no one will know he aced in the first round, except for the being in the pot maybe, which he's not.
Yeah, Ben was not in the ace pot. Patrick was in the ace pot, so good for him.
Yeah,
Jason Gorsuch pointed out he could not use the icons in round 1 because everyone did not play the same layout.
That's
because of the weird overlapping holes.
Okay.
So that was by design, yeah.
So that might be something in the future, possibly. All right. Tim, you played with Levi. How'd that go?
So I hadn't really decided who my dubs partner was going to be since the other half of Camel Case Corey wasn't here. But when the boards got put out for round 1, after, 3 or 4 holes and Levi and I were crushing, he looks at me and goes, we're going to be doubles partners second round, aren't we? And I go, yeah, I can do that. And he's like, good, because we're going to crush. And I was like, all right, cool. So that worked out well. And this is the second time we'll be doubles partners. We were at Pyramid. He's like, well, last time we did well, so let's keep it going. And we started on hole 9, and we started off with a bogey right off the bat, which was kind of shocking to the 2 of us because we had played so well round 1. So we get to the tee of hole 10, and we looked at each other and kind of had a quick little chat. We're like, okay, are we too hyped up right now? Like, let's calm down. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. And he went on to throw a nice little forehand that we thought was going going to hit the cage. It bounced a little long, and then I made the 25 comebacker, and then we just kind of cruised. There wasn't another hole that we were in any trouble from there on out. I'm trying to think. I think we might have had 3 longish putts that were like 30 feet or so. Other than that, I think the longest putt we might have had was like 10 feet. Everything was clean. We didn't get J-parked at another course. Like the trees just kind of weren't there for us. It was a really smooth round. And then at one point, I think we were 3 down, and Levi says to me on the tee of the next hole, he goes, "We're aiming for 6 down." So hole 5 is a short little forehand that he threw perfect. It's a hanging basket. I think he was legitimately under the hanging basket on his tee shot, so he tapped that in. And I'm like, okay, that gets us to 5. But hole 7 and hole 8 really aren't really easy birdies. They're both pretty far par 3s. So on hole 7, he throws a pretty good drive, but it's off in the woods a little bit. And the one guy who's on our card, Jason, he does a ton of work. He was the one who actually snow plowed trails. He has a little electric snow blower that he just ran through the course to outline the trails from the hole to the basket for the whole course. And he goes, "There's actually a line over there. You might like that." So we get over there, and it's probably 130-ish, 140, somewhere in that, feet out from the basket. And I line up. I'm like, okay, I'll go first. That way you can give it a full run if you want, and I can just give it a little layup. And Levi just goes, no, give it a full run. What do we care? We're both running. I'm like, yeah, good thought. And I just smash chain. I throw a range out of my hand, and Levi, it leaves my hand, and he goes, yup. And that was our 6th. And we finished with the hot round at 6 down. So it was a really fun day. We played really awesome. Levi had no ribbon malfunctions the second round, and we were just playing really clean golf.
It was cool to see. It was cool to see.
So you guys beat Gregory Lefko and former Miami Dolphin defensive end Jason Taylor.
Number 99.
Yeah.
And former Jet player.
That doesn't,
Yeah, he's not remembered for that.
I think his kid played for them, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Still does. He's their tight end.
Oh.
Could have a very nice future. He looks like a stud.
Yeah, if they had anybody else to throw to.
Well, we don't think about that bad. Yeah. Okay, we just think about what the talent could be. That's how Jets get by every day.
All right. And Evan, you played in the singles match. How'd that go?
I went well. That was kind of up in the air who was going to be the singles. I think Tim had it narrowed down to me, B. Klein, and CK. He's like, okay, go see how they feel. So I asked them both, and I came back and said, all 3 of us say whatever you want. So it was me, and that was fine. I was going to play against Zach. Zach was super cool. Also had a red beard, so both teams got a kick out of that, kind of the ginger beard showdown. TC Whiteboard says I started on 16. That's not true. I started on 18 as part of a 6-man card. And I didn't realize until it was time to walk out that I got to play with John Kirby and Josh Lee, which is super awesome. There's kind of a running joke on the team that they're my 2 sons, which if you see us all together, there's very little resemblance. So great guys. Like Tim said, he kind of stacked that team up a little bit. They played against Chris and Aaron. Chris was one of the course designers that I met during my first practice round there. Aaron was awesome, super cool, had a really great playlist throughout the round. Just the card was just so much fun. Zach was awesome too. Playing singles, not having a partner is, you like that for doubles, takes the pressure off. But I had been feeling really good. I played really well in the first round, and I kind of carried that feeling into the second round. We both parred the first hole, but then our third hole was 18, which is a very long par 3. I managed to get the par, and he got a double. And then we got to hole 3, which is not a very long hole. It's about 175, but you have to crest a little hill. The basket's out of sight. It's kind of up and over, but there's a double mando. And unfortunately, Zach missed the mando. So he took a double on that one to my birdie because I parked it with a zone. So after 6 holes, I was up by 5. And then, of course, on the next hole, he got a par and I got a double bogey. But after that, I just kind of settled down, and I finished at +4 and he finished at +8. Playing with John and Josh, they were just 1 stroke off of Tim's pace. They shot 5 down. Their opponents were, +1. So the whole card was just very relaxed because we were all doing well and kind of in control of our matches. And coming from the first round, I think everybody's mood was pretty good and just having a good time. The other team were great hosts. There was no kind of, sour feelings. They were all happy to be there and out playing disc golf in the winter. So it was a really good time.
They were, great people to play with. The whole team seemed really nice. I was pleasantly surprised. They treated it like it was a legit golf course, and tee signs would have been nice, but I sold them on it. Hopefully they'll contact me.
I see Justin Hickok and Patrick Jeffries. I think we mentioned that before. They got the win. Joe and Joe got their win. Jonathan Klingler and Jacob Bethel got a win. Nick Cardone and Russ O'Toole. As Evan mentioned, Jack King Kirby and Josh Lee got the win. Also, Devin Lamke and Ian Coyne won their match.
Let's go.
So will that put you at 4-1?
Yep, 4-1 now. It hasn't been updated on the official team challenge spreadsheet because Bryant is on vacation. But if you go to TC Whiteboard and look at the standings, it shows that we are in first place by virtue of points percentage. So we are ahead of Pyramids right now. Just super proud of this team and the way everybody's really kind of come together and meshed together. Vibes are really high. We have a lot of fun together, and it's just, it's been great.
So what's your next match? You've got 2 matches left, right?
Well, 1 match left and then finals. Our next match is March 7th at home. We have Devon's coming to town.
You're at 4-1. That's 5. Don't you guys do 7?
There's only 7 teams, so we're only playing 6.
Okay, my bad.
Yep. The PIP is 2 teams short of the max. So 2 of them have 8 and 2 of them have 7.
Awesome. I'm sorry, Evan, you were saying you got 1 match to go?
Yep, 1 match left. March is our bye, but our floater, it's not a neutral match as other pools have. For us, it's a floater, so it's a home match, and it was just up to us to schedule. So Devon's is going to come to J Park on March 7th, so kind of a quick turnaround. But that'll be our last match, and then finals for us April 11th at Oakham.
I mean, you never want to assume finals, but at 4-1...
I feel so good about that I haven't done out all the scenarios of what could happen, but it feels like probably going to be in. I don't want to be premature and jinx myself on a podcast, but...
The worst you can do is 4-2.
I'm pretty sure the worst case scenario for us right now is 4th. I don't think anybody else can get to 4 wins to knock us out of the top 4. The 4 teams that are 1 through 4 right now, they're the only ones that could be in the top 4. I think Devon's could definitely get knocked out, but I think there's nobody else that could knock us to 5th. That's the way I've looked at it.
But I also understand, Evan,
oh yeah,
you don't want to expect anything.
I agree completely. That's why I didn't say it until right now. Evan and I haven't talked about it at all because I didn't want to put it out there.
Remind me how the playoffs work for the play-in pool, because I think there's only like 1 or 2 teams that come from each play-in pool,
Only
right?
one team from every PIP moves up.
And F pool sends 4 down.
Yeah.
Each PIP division only sends 1 team, so you go to finals within your PIP division.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you're only playing against other people in your PIP division.
Yeah, we're
for
only
finals.
playing West. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We have a different location than the other PIP divisions
Right.
too.
Okay. There we
First
go.
place team is the only one that moves up.
Right.
So
Cool.
You win 1, you win 2, it's done. You don't do that potential third one between
The 2 1-1 teams. Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
As I understand it, yeah, you go to finals and whichever team wins twice that day is your champion.
Sorry, Evan, you're speaking with people who teams started playing before Pip Pool existed, so they don't know these pedestrian rules.
That pool gets really cut.
If we move up, we can put a Pip West patch on our sweaters to forever remind us of where we came from.
There
West
you go.
Side.
There you go. I like that.
We got a couple other New England Team Challenge matches. Looks like Warwick played Bridgeport. That was at FDR, right?
Yep.
Looks like Warwick won that one 17.5 to 16.5. So very tight matchup.
Quick worth mentioning on that one. I don't know what layout they played, but it sounds like there was an 18 under 42 out there by a couple of the Bridgeport guys and Bulls.
Nate Stewart and Chris Schofield.
Yeah.
Which is odd because I don't think I've ever seen Chris Schofield at FDR. He must have been playing it blind.
He's
No, that's awesome. But yeah, so they were tied after 8.5, and then Warwick took it in dubs. Scott Spellman proving the last point over Frank Richard.
saw that. That must have been a fun match to be. Yeah, those are both fun guys.
Absolutely. And this is a neutral match, right? DisCap against the Diamonds. For the whole weekend, I kept thinking, is that Alien Tree Farm? But it's Allen Tree Farm.
No, that's Alien Ant Farm.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Yeah. Alex, are you okay? Oh, I'm sorry. First of all, there was a lot of stuff coming up to that, right? Like where you were going to play. It all kind of worked out.
Yeah, there was a ton of that. The other team was pretty wishy-washy on everything, like just trying to, well, what about this? What about this? After we've already kind of gotten everything planned out. And, throughout all of that, I had a sneaking suspicion that it had to do with them not having the numbers, because really everything they were leading up to was, why don't we just try to do this on time? I pulled the team just to make sure that they were on the same page that I was about, like, no, we want to play this. And I think it was like 80% to 20. Yes, we want to go play this match on Saturday.
Did you have any issues as far as people showing up?
No issues with people showing up. I wasn't 100% sure what our numbers were going to be until like midway through the week, just because it's hard to kind of get everybody wrangled all the time, but we were plenty numbers. I would let a couple of people know that, hey, I know you're doing an awful lot to try and make this match. If you don't go, it's not going to be a backbreaker.
Is this a potential finals location, or what was the thought of playing here?
Really, it's the halfway point in between Jay Park and Maple Hill.
Oh, okay.
Our finals location is a lot closer to Maple Hill. It might have been like a 30-minute, 45-minute drive for some of those guys, where it was going to be, 2 hours, 2.5, 3 hours for some of us.
I was just curious because it's this late in the year. That's usually the first thought as far as these neutral matches.
Yeah, we got this on the schedule way beforehand. So I think this was scheduled before we knew where finals was. So we're kind of like right around that same time. That was a little bit of a thought at some point. We also looked at having it at Oak Ridge, which is our next away match. So giving us a chance to go play that course, and Oak Ridge fed us what I'm considering a pretty lame excuse as to us not being able to go. That's just my thought on it.
Yeah. And the Diamonds, they were undefeated going into this match, right?
Yeah. The last team that beat them was Wedge at home last year. I think that was the match where Ryan Nelson had like the 17,000 hole playoff.
So, this is a tough match. What was the thought process going into matchups?
I wasn't really able to put too much strategy onto it because I really wasn't sure where they were going to be because they were so shaky. It seemed like they were going to be at 15-2. When you're missing that many people, that's an awful lot of names to cross off. And my strategy is going to depend a lot on where I'm crossing those names off, whether it's, at the top of their list or the bottom of their list. It ended up being pretty well balanced, but they did not bring their strongest rated player, Justin Chu, wasn't there. So that was nice to see strategically speaking. Justin's a super nice guy, so it was a bummer not to see him, but kind of trying to keep everything as even as I can while giving us as much of an advantage as I can. There was a lot of matches that were going to be pretty good matches, and some of them turned out to be pretty lopsided. Kyle Hirsch's match, for one, I thought was going to be a fight, and then he won at like 5-4 or something.
So their best player's not playing. What do you do with Corey? Do you put him out, or is he a response at this point?
Sorry, my bad. Their second best player. Corey still got to play their best player in Gage Benson, a guy who hasn't played a tournament in 5 years.
How'd that go, Corey?
It's probably one of only a couple names I recognize in their team, but I didn't really know anything about him. But it was an interesting match. He started off by getting the first hole on me from like being way out of position through this giant Anheuser that must have thrown like 350 feet, and he like parks the basket to take the first hole on me. At that point, I thought, I'm cooked. But I kind of found out that like his putts were pretty shaky, so able to get a couple holes back. But I can tell me not playing that much is kind of showing. It's kind of funny. I feel like I'm the snowblower when you haven't used it all year and you left gas in it, and then you try to use it the first snowstorm and like you kind of got to run it on half choke and it's spitting and sputtering. I'll have moments of greatness. Like the second hole, I drained this like 60-foot jump putt to tie the match back up, but my lows were so low. I was like completely shanking lines and missing 15-footers myself, but then I'd make like a couple of 30-footers in a row, and that's kind of what he was doing too. So it got all the way to like 4 holes left. I think I had 2 strokes on him, and I just gave him right back from dumb mistakes. End up pushing our singles match after I was like up 1 with 1 or 2 to go. So I kind of blew it, but I was somewhat okay with a push.
You say you haven't played, but it seems like each weekend you're playing. Is it because of with the snow and everything, you're not getting in the practice rounds that you would normally get, like playing 2-3 times a week, that kind of thing?
I feel like I'm at my best when I'm playing like 2, maybe 3 times a week, because I won't really get much like, I'm not going to go out into the park and do like any field practice or anything like this. I feel like I'm not in my disc golf form, the motions are rusty, and playing in like boots and stuff and everything is, I'm not a big standstill guy, and you kind of have to in these conditions. And
that's fair. You play with Jay Gorsage on your card?
Yeah, I got to play Gorsage. He was fun to hang out with. Jay had a rough day because he was throwing great shots that would get like kind of screwed, and it would put him in a spot, and Jay does not throw forehands, and he'd get into a spot where like you can't throw a backhand here. So he kind of struggled to scramble on some of those. And the guy who played Carson was really good. There's a couple guys there filming. He might have been on one of the filmed cards in the dubs round. But yeah, Jay lost his match.
I get you.
Although shout out Jay did bring a truck, and he was able to shuttle people. Like the walk from hole 16 and 17 to like it's like 8 or 18 on the other side of the course was like, I don't know, a quarter mile. So he was able to shuttle people. Shout out Jay.
Corey, how far is Allen Tree Farm from you guys? It's not that far away, right?
No.
For me, it's like an hour and 15, but Jamin is probably 2 hours.
Yeah, it was 2 hours, and for me, that's like a short drive for a disc golf course. That's like a super easy morning trip.
And Jamin, you got to play our favorite, Duncan.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say his last name because I always mess it up. So
Farquharson.
Yeah.
I reminded him that now he has a famous cousin in the bobsledder who took like bronze. But yeah, no, it was a super fun match. I am a lot in the same camp as Corey, where I'm just too rusty right now to really make anything happen when I needed to. Duncan wasn't playing super well. I was just playing worse throughout the day. I was missing putts. I hit some really early trees on some really simple up shots that like kept me from scoring and that kind of stuff. So I'm just kind of fumbled through the round, got a couple points here and there to keep it respectful, but was not able to make a push on anything. I started off better, but I just really wasn't hitting my putts is what boiling down to. I was thinking how much fun it is to be the captain in those kind of situations where if I had a few minutes of practice putt beforehand, I might have been able to do something, but the typical winter apathy got to me, and not practicing enough throughout the weeks leading up to the match kind of did me in.
Corey mentioned it. Were you on one of the film cards?
Yeah, so I'm excited for that, not because I did anything good that entire round, but I get to kind of watch myself do a bunch of like bad shit and, see what I can learn from that. Going to learn a lot more from that than watching myself hit a bunch of 30-footers, right? So it's going to be a good learning experience for me. I don't know why anybody else would ever watch that video.
Watch Peter Hodge.
He's like batched them out. So he already put the Peter video out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's the other matchup on my card was Peter Hodge and James Cairn. And James is just like, he's a phenom as far as like throwing is concerned. He had 2 like fairly simple eagle bids. And none of the holes are like super long par 4s or anything like that. But, he was in circle 1 or short circle 2 for eagle bids on a couple of these holes. And luckily for Peter, he just was not hitting his putts. He was 35 feet away on a 530-foot hole and still parred it.
James almost beat me and Tyler like 1v2 last year at finals. It was ridiculous. He's very good.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to know how you ended up in finals with a 1v2.
He had a partner. It was just like a very old man who didn't actually help at all. That's how.
So like last time I played with Jamin. Okay, no, that's fair. Just to clarify, Jamin, so your video's not out yet?
No, not that I'm aware of.
But you said the Peter Hodge is out?
Yep.
Has anybody seen it?
I haven't queued it up
I
yet.
have not seen it, but I went to J Park today with B. Klein, and he has a Peter Hodge question. So I'll ask on behalf of Brandon. Does Peter Hodge throw lefty and putt right-handed?
Yes.
Okay. Has he always done that? Or I guess Brandon wasn't sure if he was seeing that right. So can anybody elaborate?
It's how he's able to coil better. He gets more coiling.
It just makes everyone feel worse about themselves. That's why he does it.
Is that why he's the cheat code? Because that feels like cheating?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, he actually has a thumb, like a chronic thumb injury on his right hand, and he just can't like throw hard with it.
I was under the impression that he hurt his shoulder when he first started playing disc golf, so he just learned how to throw lefty.
Maybe
Ooh,
the current
mystery.
reason is the thumb.
Okay. Tell us, Peter.
Has anybody watched any of these videos?
I saw the video of the live on 14.
I didn't know if they do any kind of commentary during it.
I watched a little bit of Kyle Hirsch's, and no, it's just them talking, walking around.
Okay. I'm just curious. Obviously, it's pretty quick to come out, so I can't see that they would edit it and then do any kind of talking. So
Yeah, I think they were just like filming on phone too, or at least one of the guys was. It wasn't like a whole thing.
All right. I mean, yeah, it's still kind of cool.
Yeah.
Kyle was mentioned. He beat Mark Liston. Bobby Hallam got a win. Ethan Hatters, Jack Fruchter, Brian Bickersmith, Caitlin Clay, and Tucker Kozlowski beat a guy called Thomas Ireland.
Myself, Kyle, Ethan, and Brian carpooled out there. And this is like one of the rare times we drive to Massachusetts for something and we don't pass like the Chicopee Chick-fil-A, which is usually always the thing that we hit on the way back especially when we're with Kyle. Probably only when we're with Kyle. And we were kind of joking. Brian drove. The only way that Brian would go out of the way to get Chick-fil-A is if we all won our singles matches. And I was the only one to not win the singles match, so we couldn't go get Chick-fil-A after.
Wait, even a push? He doesn't. I mean, you're half a point.
We said we had to all win. So I think Brian was happy that I pushed because we almost called him out on his bluff. Like we didn't really mention it, but I don't know what actually is on paper, but we were kind of the underdogs coming into this.
Well, I mean, we already talked about it, how they were undefeated, and Jamin said they hadn't lost since like last year against Wedge. So
this was unsuspecting a little bit.
Yeah. Corey, was Brian mad at you enough that you didn't get the win, that he did you dirty on his Instagram reel?
I think I brought that on myself.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was because you had pushed, or if it was you did it yourself by throwing it into the ground.
Luckily, there was only one hole he was filming on.
I mean, it sounds to me like he was happy that Corey didn't win.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe he should have shown a better throw for you, Corey.
So after singles, you guys are up 9.5 to 8.5 because they had a penalty point. With one penalty point, that means they were missing one or two people.
One.
Okay. Well, I'm never sure if it's a half a point a person, but okay.
Yeah, it's different in the different leagues.
Yeah, I guess that's why I'm iffy about it. And because this is a neutral, there's not much as far as like a spread, right? So is there any place local, or what did you guys do for lunch?
I brown bagged it. There was like a Dunkin' in town and a couple other things that I think some people went to.
Yeah, we brought stuff.
What you bring, Corey?
I was planning on making PB&Js, and I realized I didn't have any bread, and like, how are you going to get bread at like 6 o'clock in the morning? So I did what I did not want to do, and I was buying overpriced shit sub from Stewart's, along with a breakfast sandwich and a coffee. I ended up spending like freaking $30 there. $10 for a condiment-less, tomato having ass, Italian style sub.
So you got a 1 point lead going into doubles. Presumably you've got a 2 point lead because you're probably going to get another point, but you don't really bank on that. So what's the thoughts going into round two? I mean, this is an undefeated team.
Yeah, so going into round two, there was actually some more random changes and stuff. They had originally told me that they were going to be one person short for the first round, but then they wouldn't be for the second round. The way that they planned on doing that was that they brought their third woman, didn't have her play the first round. I didn't even know she was going to be there. And then they were going to have her play in the second round as like a mixed doubles pairing. So like it was going to be two of our guys against a mixed double pairing, which strategically for me sounds amazing. It's basically 2 free points, I felt like. And in the flow of everything, the guy that Tucker beat came up lame, pulled muscle in his back or something. So he was out for the second round. So they still did that with their third lady playing, but they still took another penalty because they were once again short in person.
Goodness.
So I'm like scrambling, trying to figure out what the heck to do for doubles. I had to sit 8 people on the team throughout the day, which is a mental load on its own, trying to figure out how to do that. And that kind of stuff was not super fun. We got a bunch of people who came out and dedicated this entire day to the match. And I'm telling almost half of them that they got to sit. So that wasn't super fun. But yeah, just kind of got everything figured out with doubles pairings as well as I could. There's a couple of pairings that I had been wanting to try all year that I was finally able to. Yeah, I was feeling pretty good going into the doubles, knowing we were already going to get one more point on them, and just knowing that they weren't as strong as they could be, and they were probably pretty demoralized.
What were the doubles pairings that you were curious to try?
One that I've been trying to try all year was Josh Wynn and Ethan Hatters.
That seemed to have worked out.
Yeah, I don't know 100% like why I thought that was going to be a really great pairing, but it just felt like, Josh is really smooth and steady and grounded, and, Ethan has the capacity to do anything at any time. So I felt like that those kind of two opposing forces would work pretty well.
Absolutely. 2 off the hot round for those two, and they won their match. Was there another one?
That was really the main one. I put myself with Justin, which was kind of an experiment too. We don't play too much together, so it was. I was interested to see how that would pan out.
How'd it go?
It went pretty well. Again, like I'm not making putts anywhere, but we were kind of just doing everything that we needed to do. We were down 2 for a very long time in that round. So we really kind of had to consciously keep our heads up and just kind of keep hacking away. The course is relatively simple. So, like we were getting a lot of birdies. We just had one hole where we both had kind of errant putts we were kind of relying on the doubles thing of, all right, well, one of us is going to hit the basket and we're going to have a tap in. And it just didn't happen on that one. The basket was kind of elevated. And so we bogeyed a hole to give away our 1-stroke lead early on. And then they just got a couple birdies here and there off some good putts. And so we were down by 2 going into the last 2 holes, which was 18 and 1. 18 is this dog leg right par 4 where you're kind of throwing out into a field just for a placement shot. And then you're just trying to get close to the basket for a putt on a slightly elevated basket. Credit to Justin. He actually asked if I had a specific type of disc in my bag. He needed a flippier distance driver than he had. And so I gave him one. I said, all right, just kind of put it on this much hyzer kind of thing. It's really flippy. And he could have put it on a little bit less hyzer in the end, but he threw it super well, got us into place for a pretty simple up and down. I put that one close to the basket. And so we took 1 stroke on him with 1 hole left to go. So now we're only 1 behind. And then on hole 1, Justin absolutely parked it, probably put it 4 feet to the left of the basket. The other guys landed their drives 45, 50 feet away and we're not able to make the putt. So we've got to extend the match a little bit. Next hole, Justin has another good drive, puts us maybe 25, 30 feet away. It's labeled as a par 4. It's only like 390, pretty open. There's nothing in the way. And the other team just put it a little bit closer. We go for our putt, both miss ours and they make theirs. So they won it in 19, but it felt good to come back and battle back, do everything we could.
Absolutely. I think because of the weather change and everything, I neglected to ask yet, but you guys didn't need ribbons or anything for this match, or did you?
I had them on. We actually lost one of the other guys' discs on one of the holes. The snow was pretty dense, so it was kind of hard to find where the disc would go in if it did slide under. We had a couple times where we were searching around and it took us a while to find the spot impact because it just kind of all falls back in on itself. I was taking ribbons off as I was going. I was like, all right, I don't need this anymore, and it's flying better without.
Yeah, I played all of round 1, all ribboned up, and then basically every hole round 2, I was like, no, I'm taking this ribbon off,
And you played with Jack Fruchter. Corey, had you played with him before?
Definitely not in Team Challenge. I think we might have played like a tournament round before together. Maybe they're at Heiser or somewhere else, but maybe Burbine. But yeah, first time playing Team Challenge with them. On the other team, a guy named Egan. Jack is actually, he played against him in singles and beat him, I believe. Yep. 1 up. No, I was excited because I know Jack's kind of got like a lot of power and he's a really good player. So kind of felt that we'd be leaning on him a lot with our matchup, but it was going well. The one thing I didn't mention is that the service at the course really sucked. I wasn't even able to get the whiteboard app to work for like 80% of the area. So round 1, Gorsage was doing the app, but round 2, guy on their team was using it. So he was putting all the scores in. I didn't really have an idea of where either of us were at other than who had the box, and we were never like more than 1 stroke apart. But me and Jack were kind of going ham and egg. We used a lot of Jack's drives. He's got like a lot of power and he was hitting some good putts, but I was going first every time. So I was also able to like clean my putting up from round 1 a bit. I think the biggest thing is I was just struggling with like confidently putting it in the basket. So like round 1, I was just like coming up short left with everything. But once we did get service, I kind of noticed that me and Jack were on like fire emoji whiteboard icon track. I don't know if we were like 10 down or 9 down through like 12 holes. Really what it came down to was we didn't finish as strong as we could have. The last 4 holes, we only got 1 birdie. And we kind of figured we're gonna hit 14 down, and we missed a couple holes, only finished at 12. And Egan and Josh kind of passed by us in the last 2 holes getting birdies, and they beat us by 1 stroke.
You still shot minus 12. It's only 2 strokes behind the hot round. So you guys did well. I mean, they had to shoot a minus 13 to beat you.
Yeah, it was a good day. I wasn't expecting to play in like a t-shirt at all that day, but round 2, I just kind of like, it got warm out, especially out in the sun. I had to borrow sunglasses from Gorsage round 1 because like the snow blindness was definitely real. And I think at one point, standing one of the holes in one of the fairways, the backs of my pants were actually getting like hot, like warm from the sun. So it was nice conditions. Like James said, the snow was almost a non-factor as far as like losing your disc, but still had to do some trudging if you were off the fairway. Cool course though.
Yeah. We mentioned earlier, Ethan and Josh got the win. Greg Kurtz and Christopher Bolton, they won their match. Peter Hodge and Troy Vasari also with the hot round, same as Kyle and Adam.
I'm watching the whiteboard the entire time, and there's a lot of back and forth matches going on. Troy and Peter were never more than 1 ahead. Corey and Jack were always super close. it was just kind of all over the place. There was, people leading, and then I'd check it a couple holes later, and then they were behind. So there was a lot of back and forth. And then kind of in the last half of the round, I noticed that Chris and Greg are a couple ahead of the two guys that they're playing. And the two guys that they're playing, that's Gage Benson, and I don't remember his partner, but they're not slouches. They're a pretty solid doubles team. So, that's one that I'm watching with interest, knowing that the score that I need to win is 4 doubles. If we get 4 points, we win.
Neil Ruggiero.
Oh,
Ruggiero.
Right. Thank you. So we're watching that, and that ends up being the last match that's finishing up. Justin and I miss our putt. We get beat in our playoff, and then just on the other side of the access road is the hole that Greg and them are playing on. So we both miss our putt, and then the other team taps in theirs. And as that's happening, we hear a cheer from the disc captain's kind of camp that's gathering over by hole 1 on this kind of raised platform, watching Greg and Chris finish up, because Greg just parked, the last upshot on the par 4 that they're playing to clinch their own match and the match for the rest of the team. So that was cool. Those are both guys that sat first round. So I think the fresh legs theory worked on that one. They were able to come into the second round with first round energy and really pulled the team through.
Heck yeah. I don't know if I mentioned it. Parker Cerrone also got the win in singles to put the extra little cherry on top.
Yep. It's not an accident point. Won by 2. We just won by penalty points, but we got 3. And honestly, I think that if they had brought more people, we still would have won. I don't feel like that match was won on the penalty points or anything like that. We sat more than halfway up our roster. So there was a lot of players that I really wish could play doubles, because they're super competitive and they're going to contribute, but it's just somebody's got to sit.
When you got to sit 4 people, you got some tough decisions to make.
Yeah. To kind of make everything as fair as I can, I just go by numbers at that point. Otherwise, there's always going to be what if this person's at, or what if that person's at? And at the end of the day, ratings is how well you're going to do on average. So, if you had an awesome first round, on average, you might have a less awesome second round or something like that. So just trying to keep everything as by the numbers as I can.
Empirical?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, using data, I guess, or whatever.
Statistical?
Data. Yeah.
So you guys won doubles 10-8 with the bonus point, which overall is 19.5 to 16.5. But like you said, you take away the penalty points, it's still 17.5 to 16.5, and that is still a win. So what's their record now?
They are 5-1, and we're 4-2.
4-2. Okay. So you have one match left?
Yep. We're off to Oak Ridge.
Isn't that in like Tennessee?
It's everywhere. There's oaks on all the ridges.
Oh, that's crazy.
That is in kind of the Pioneer Valley, Western Mass. And yeah, that's March 21st.
Okay. So a couple weeks.
Did we clinch finals with that win? You haven't ran the numbers yet.
It's not 1,000% clinched. It's not 100% clinched. There's one scenario that we could not, but the match this Saturday should close that door. The only way that we could not make finals is if we lose to Oak Ridge, and then Oak Ridge wins against Devil's Grove neutral this Saturday, and Borderland wins against the other guys in March, and they both end up with higher percentages now. So it is possible that we don't make finals, but it's not looking probable.
We're going to need Jay to put that in the app too, like clinched playoff icon in the standing.
Yeah. Put a little Z next to it like the NFL.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so I really don't expect Oak Ridge to beat Devil's Grove. So I think we'll have closure on that by Saturday night.
Nice.
One thing on a personal note, I think this is the universe telling me something. The guy that owns the disc golf course is a former middle school band teacher who decided to quit his career and build a disc golf course. So I don't know.
If you build it, he will come.
I played out on Tree Farm, and I talked with him as well. He was actually putting in one of the bridges, and he said he was able to, because he pays for that course, he was able to turn a profit in the first year, which I thought was crazy. But it just goes to show you that people pay for disc golf.
Yeah, it sounds like it's his family's tree farm on some level. So I think his parents own it. But yeah, no, I mean, there's, anything's possible.
And Randy, we had the last week of 9-pin cider putting league. How'd that go?
It went great. I used a similar layout as I did the last few weeks, made it just a little easier in general, just to keep everybody happy so they didn't leave for the year thinking, well, that guy sucks. So we had a decent turnout. I think the numbers are just still low from people being sad about winter and everything. But it was good. I finally got to see like the season results. And oddly, because Adam's better putter than me, we had an exact tie for the season, which I thought was pretty cool. I managed to beat Kat by a little bit, but she didn't have any drop rounds, so she's probably still better than me.
You were saying the last few weeks it's been lower than normal turnout, but 62 players came out.
Yeah, I am not sad at all. 60 something is perfect. It keeps the flow great. I really should never complain. When we started this, we had like 30 something as regulars. So I'm very happy having 60 as our kind of good, okay number.
There's a few of these kind of putting leagues in this area, and that 30 something, that's kind of the average around here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like directly comparing us to Northway, which is like one of the biggest in the country. So
yeah,
that's like my goal, but like we're realistically not going to get there without 9-pin building an addition or something, so we can put in more stations, but maybe someday.
At what number of people does this start to become unwieldy?
We had 100 one night, or like 108 or something, and that was pretty crazy. Like we ran a little bit late, but it was great. Like the environment was great too. But I don't know, 60 something is a really good number where people wrap up like 15 minutes earlier than I plan, and then we get out of there a little early, and it's really nice. So I think 60 to 80 is great, and then the flow still works.
Heck yeah. Mark Bryan posted 62 players came out tonight to celebrate the end of the 2025-26 9-pin Cider Putting League. A few new faces brings our total unique player count to 200 this season. Some incredible scores tonight with a record-breaking 8 aces. A few folks seized this last opportunity to dig deep and put up a big score to earn some fantastic 9-pin swag. As far as week 7 is concerned, in the free league, looks like Brandon Klein came in third with an 18, Mark Bryan in second with a 19, and Pete Fitzsisti got the free flight, scored himself 22 points and the win. As far as the paid league, looks like a tie for fourth with Josh Lee and Joe Karen. They each brought home $15. Jay Gorsage came in third place, got himself $20. Nick Cardone in second with $30. And Kyle Moore, your winner, $35. He mentioned 8 aces. It was 90 feet, no wind, straight ahead, which sounds like that was what it was the week before.
Yeah, I think it might be about 10 feet shorter because the snowbank is just getting bigger against the building. And we used a full-size basket instead of a marksman just to make sure somebody hit it because we didn't want to like have money left over. It's funny that like 10 feet shorter and a full-size basket can go from like 1 or 2 aces to 8.
So Adam Nelson, Cam Rumsen, Chris Myers, Dennis Daly, Kevin Newen, Lefty Mike Warner, Tim Goyette. Ooh, Tim Goyette with an ace.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one.
First time around, second disc. They weren't even my disc, and I made an ace.
That was a business ace.
That was a business. Oh, yeah, that's right. I came right from work, so I was dressed in my business casual.
And Tim Martino, all with aces. So they split. They each got $6.
I know.
So the final results. So there was a tie in the free league. He says after a grueling playoff in pro league and a quickly settled tie in the free league. So was the free league between Pete and Brandon?
No, I think it was Mark Bryan and the third place person.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what happened. So Mark just, set it free.
All right. So the final results in the free league, Nick Atcats, Alcatraz, came in third place, Brandon Klein in second, and Peter Fitzsisti, your free league winner, toppling Brandon Klein. In the pro league, third place was Josh Lee, and there was a tie.
The pro division ended with a tie, which is kind of crazy. So Nick Cardone and Joe Karen had a playoff after their 7th round was done for the season, and they did another full lap playoff, and then they were tied after another lap of 5 baskets. So then it went sudden death, and then I think Nick lost it on the very first station, unfortunately. But that was cool.
So Nicholas Cardone in second, and Joe Karen is your winner. Mark also puts, remember to follow DisCap to stay informed on all leagues and events in the area throughout the season. Keep an eye out for some pop-up events at 9-Pin Cider during the spring and summer season. There are such incredible hosts, it's hard to stay away. Any final comments, Randy?
No, nothing from us. I think we're going to run something in the summer, probably. No real details yet, but 9-Pin appreciates us and wants us to do some more stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Also, Dove Creek, we're going to be starting a handicap singles league supposed to be first week of April, but that's going to be Sundays at 10 a.m. So it's going to be different. It's going to be a weekend league, and it's going to be a handicap singles. And the reason I'm doing handicap singles, just to attract more people, there's a lot of new golfers in Amsterdam. We have found them. We have found a whole host of young adults, kids, older folks that have started playing at Dove Creek, which is amazing. I talk to everybody when I'm working on the course. I talk to everybody that's on the course and ask them, where you come from and things like that. And we've had a host of new players, and I really want to get them out into the scene, right? And how we do that is we kind of show them, this is what it's like to go to a league. People get nervous about going to a league. So the goal is to make a handicap so that people don't get nervous about that. And I know my wife, who I got into disc golf as well, she does it as much as she can with the fact that we have 3 kids, but she doesn't want to go to doubles leagues because she's always nervous about ruining a male's chances of cashing or doing something, even though most of the time we play for fun, right? We don't play to win the money. We're not playing to get rich, but she just doesn't want to be the reason that somebody loses. So I'm hoping that this gets more women and more new players out the fact that it's a handicap league.
Absolutely. I don't play J-Dubs because I'm afraid I'll be partnered with Corey and cost him the big penis trophy or whatever it is.
Pat, that's why I go to J-Dubs.
Terry, did you even know that there was a Volunteer of the Year?
I had no idea. And in fact, that was probably the first time that I had been on one of those calls. I usually either forget about it or I join and you can't hear anything. So then you drop off. So I was actually on the call the whole time, had no idea it was coming. Then all of a sudden, my wife comes down and she's like, "Are you on the call?" And she had no idea why I was down here. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm on the call. I've been on the call the whole time." She was like, "Okay," because Kat said to make sure you were on the call. And then right then I see the Volunteer of the Year, and then I could tell my face is getting red because I knew exactly what that meant when she came down there to check on me and make sure I was on the call. So yeah, I had no idea what was happening.
I discovered it through the March DisCap newsletter. What is that you're holding in that picture?
First of all, I love who someone went down in the rabbit hole for that picture, because that's probably like 3-4 years old. That, I believe, is a Napa cabbage. If I had to guess, that was one of my first Napa cabbage that I turned into kimchi.
All right. I understood some of those words. Okay. What's that shirt? What up?
What up, dog? It's I used to get these stupid $5 just random shirts. Solid Threads I would buy a shirt, and then you could just buy a $5 shirt, and it was like either a misprint or something that somebody didn't like, and so that was one of the shirts that was "What up, dog," and it was just a hot dog. I just wore that to really just troll my kids. It's really, really fun to troll your kids when they turn into like little teens and things like that. All you have to do is say one of their words, and you might as well have just caused them to keel over and cringe.
That's awesome. So yeah, Volunteer of the Year. Terry has done an incredible amount of volunteering this year, from fundraising and installing new tee pads, bridges, fairways, and baskets at Dove Creek, many times on his own or with a few volunteers, to volunteering at other events and courses. The amount of dedication and hard work he has put towards our local courses is truly outstanding. Thank you, Terry, for all that you have done for DisCap. They are truly grateful. I don't know, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You got to back it up, Terry. Back it up, Terry.
In reverse.
Go for the TV. Do it again.
So first of all, one, I have to say it wasn't obviously just me. The 3 guys you mentioned, Sean Collins, Chris Wilson, Will Cable, they were there every single time I was there moving stuff. I mean, we moved 500-pound steel beams, like 2 of them, down into the ravine to get this stupid bridge built. But they were there putting in the hours too. So, obviously anyone who's ever volunteered realizes nothing gets done without a team of people. So they were the team. With that said, I bet you I have approached at least 20 or 30 different either businesses, farms, random properties to try to get another course. I have a couple I'm working on right now, one of which I had the first meeting with the owner of the land, and he seemed like he really was really interested. So you may see another Terry Hudson course in the area within the next 1 to 2 years.
So bring out your lefties.
Oh yeah, you know it.
Awesome. Anybody good for a quiz? Anybody not good for a quiz?
I'm going to get going to even things out.
I'm good.
That's cool. Anything you got before you got to go, Jamin?
No, just hope it keeps getting warmer.
That would be nice. Awesome. Well, thank you, Jamin.
Yeah. Thanks, Pat. Bye,
How you
guys.
doing?
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So that puts us at 3-on-3. I was waiting. It's March, so I thought Corey was going to be like, I got to go.
No, I'm going to save that. I'm going to say it's too early in the month.
Yeah, it's too early in the month. I get you. It's not one of them short months either, like February.
There's too much month at the end of this money. I got to save.
Exactly. So, Terry, you're familiar with Disc or No Disc, I'm assuming?
Oh, yeah, I listen to it. It's my favorite segment.
Do you have any thoughts on a team? I mean, we got 6, so you could pick 2 people. You can break it up how you want. We could figure it out if you don't. I'm just asking.
Let's do Team Lemonheads. Me, Tim, and Evan.
Now, before we get into this, Terry, where would you put yourself on the scale of typical contenders between, actually, I don't know, I might put myself below Eric, but we'll go for the memes. On a scale of Eric to Evan, where are you?
Is there other stops in between that?
Like Alex and Randy are kind of in the middle. Tim might be in between them and Evan.
From a disc standpoint?
No,
From
trivia
a trivia.
Oh,
Are you A, B, or C?
pool.
Yeah, A, B, or C pool.
How dumb are you, Terry? It's a simple question.
no. Semi-dumb. I feel like I'm pretty decent at trivia. I'm not going to be the best. I'm not going to be the worst. Put me solidly in the middle.
Okay, you're mid.
I'm mid, as the kids would say. I'm mid.
Yeah, you're mid.
All right, since you picked the teams, though, that means you guys got to go second. So, Alex, Corey, Randy, Carr.
And Tet.
I guess Tet. You guys are very offensive.
Was Tet offensive?
Good one.
Thanks, Evan. That was me throwing a little history at y'all.
A little tete-a-tete.
Yeah. All right.
Disc or no disc, that's the game. Say it loud, shout the name, spin the questions round and round. Will you land it or hit the ground?
I've got 3 categories here of disc or no disc. I will tell you one of these categories is quite possibly one of the hardest categories we've had. Might not be the hardest, but it's definitely up there. It's a tough one. So with that in mind, Corey, Alex, and Randy, what category would you like? Category 1, Category 2, or Category 3?
I think this category is either a leftover from before or it's a new addition. So that's going to be 1 or 3. So I'm going to say we go 2.
Sure.
That's sound logic.
That is sound logic. All right. Question 1, Category 2. As the easternmost nation of the Iroquois Confederacy, what group, known as the Keepers of the Eastern Door, shares a name with a major river that flows into the Hudson? As the easternmost nation of the Iroquois Confederacy, what group, known as the Keepers of the East Door, shares a name with a major river that flows into the Hudson?
Not the Mohawk, right?
I mean, it could be.
That's the obvious answer. And it's question 1.
Yeah. I mean, but there's no other ones you could think of, right? Like rivers that flow into the
No.
Hudson.
Name another river that flows into the Hudson.
The Erie Canal.
You want to go Mohawk?
You're going
Yeah,
Erie Canal?
let's
No,
go.
I'm kidding. Yes, Mohawk.
Mohawk.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is the Mohawk a disc?
Damn, dude, it's gotta be.
Damn, it really should be.
Oh my god, they had a mohawk, a mullet, a rat tail.
Dude, you just named the whole category. What's
Oh, maybe. Is the mohawk? I don't know. I might say no.
It could be like a hooligan disc or something.
I've never heard of it.
Like, what else is a mohawk if it's not like Native American tribes or hairstyles?
Or a hairstyle.
I mean, there could be like the Cherokee. There could, maybe not.
I
don't
think
know.
there's a lot of angles that it could be a disc.
So are we saying yes?
My instinct is yes. If you guys are really feeling no, then we
No,
can
let's
go
go
no.
yes.
But
No, we're going
It
yes.
could be hairstyles.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
yep,
Yes.
I'm sorry, no.
Ah, fuck.
fuck, missed opportunity.
A lot of angles, yet only 2 answers.
Terry, Evan, Tim, Category 1, Category 2, or Category 3?
Terry, it's your first time on. Why don't you go ahead and pick your category?
Which one did they just pick? Was that 2?
They did 2, yeah.
Let's do 1.
All right.
All right, question 1, Category 1. Named after a Scottish inventor, what standard unit of power in the International System of Units is equal to 1 joule of energy per second? Named after a Scottish inventor, what standard unit of power in the International System of Units is equal to 1 joule of energy per second?
Is that a watt?
That's what I was thinking. I don't want to overlook anything else, but that's what I thought.
I have no idea, so I'm good with what.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was the first thing that came to my mind.
let's go with it.
Okay.
You guys agree?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes,
Is the watt a disc?
Show enough.
sure is.
sure is.
MVP Disc Sports, March 21st, 2022.
Yes.
All right, Corey, Alex, and Randy, would you like category 1 or category 2? Category 3 will be saved for a later date.
You guys want to switch?
Oh, so
I
I
would like
muted.
to
Yeah,
switch.
I did say, do you want to sig?
Yeah.
We'll go question 1, Pat, or category 1, Pat.
Category 1? All right, question 2, category 1. Most people know that Thomas Edison was the Wizard of Menlo Park, but few remember his full name. What was the middle name of this legendary American inventor? Most people know that Thomas Edison was the Wizard of Menlo Park, but few remember his full name. What was the middle name of this legendary American inventor?
Was it Alba?
This does seem like I was going to say
That
this sounds
sounds
like a
right.
Thomas Alba Edison?
Alex question. Alba, though?
Oh my God. I'm going to throw my Alba.
And you don't think it was like Alba was short for Albert, right?
Dude, what if his middle name was just like Hurricane? That'd be like a sick disc.
I have no idea. So if you think Alba, sure.
You know, I can't remember where I picked up that information.
It sounds right.
Sounds right.
Yeah, okay, Alba.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you spell that?
No.
I would say ALBA, but it might be ALVA.
Which one of those are you going with?
That's a good question.
This isn't a spelling contest. This is phonetics.
Yeah, phonetically it's different though.
I feel like you said Alba with a B, and he's asking because it's really
Like it
different
easily
letter.
could be Alva with a V.
man.
Let's go with the
You
V one.
wanna go
then.
V?
Yeah, let's go with the V one.
I think so. Yeah.
Let's go with the V one.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is the Alva.
Nice.
That's crazy.
Evan, is there a different way I should have presented that?
No, just I knew it from the second you asked it, and I was waiting for them to be off by a letter, and they somehow parallel parked their way into it. That was awesome.
All right. Dude, they got Watt, which has been a player's pack disc for like the past 3 years. And then we get Alva, the MVP.
I want to say
Alva.
no.
It sounds bad, right?
Yeah, unless Alex knows of this disc.
I have never heard
Alex.
of an Alva.
All right, we're going no.
You guys agree?
Mm-hmm.
I guess so.
Castoplast, February
What the-
19th, 2024. See, and that's why I didn't feel so bad about the B, because I figured, no, there's no way they're going to call that a disc. And if they did, you know.
It's going to be
Terrible
one of these
name.
days.
So you guys are tied at 2, but Terry, Evan, and Tim, you're a question in the hole. Would you like category 1 or category 2?
What are the odds that category 1 is the hardest one he was talking about?
After question 1, I would have said no, but after question 2, yeah.
I did know 2, but if it starts, I don't know how many people I'm gonna know. But I don't know. We don't know what 2 is yet. It's up to you, Tara. What do you think? You're the captain today.
Oh, man. Let's do category 2, question 2.
All right, question 2, category 2. What mythical bird, a cross between two common North American birds, serves as the mascot for the University of Kansas? What mythical bird, a cross between two common North American birds, serves as the mascot for the University of Kansas?
It's got to be the Jayhawks, right?
Yep.
You guys agree?
Sorry for taking your bird question, Randy.
Dude, I actually
we're
knew
not.
that.
We're not sorry.
God damn it.
I was going to say, normally Randy doesn't like school.
No, I'm terrible with
Mascot?
college sports.
Terry, if he asks you to spell it, politely say no, thank you.
All right.
Is the Jayhawk a disc?
Feels like maybe. I know that they did come out with a J, right?
They have a J
Tim.
and they have a hawk. Yeah.
And they have a Devil Hawk. It's not a gateway disc, I can tell you that.
Is Jayhawk anything other than the university mascot? Like, do they have some kind
That's
of
the only
claim
place
on
I've
it?
ever heard it. I haven't
think-
heard it anywhere else.
Would it be weird for someone else to use that name?
Well, the way Pat said mythological bird
Yeah.
kind of makes me feel like it may be something else, but I've never heard of it anywhere else. It's a pretty good name, though.
It is. That's what I mean. I'm very slightly on a no, but it's like almost a coin flip. I don't know.
All right, Terry, what are you feeling?
See, I think no. And so I've been listening to you guys over the last however many weeks, and we've been seeing a lot more no's lately. I think because
That's
Pat's
getting
probably
caught.
running out of it.
That's a
Caught.
trap.
So, am I getting, what does Eric call it?
You're already baited.
I'm baited. Crap.
You're already trapped. You haven't even seen it sprung.
Yeah, my thought would be no,
All
but
right,
that's
so
just me.
no.
Yeah, let's go now.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
You are correct.
Ooh.
Masterfully baited.
All right. 2 rounds in. It's 4-2. Corey, Alex, and Randy, you're down 2 points. Question 3 in category 1 or question 3 in category 2?
You guys want to switch?
Probably
Yeah, we should.
Yes, works for me.
Going to category 2?
yes.
Yes.
Question 3, category 2. In the late 1990s, the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders hockey team briefly introduced what mascot that combined a predatory bird with a supernatural entity? In the late 1990s, the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders hockey team briefly introduced what mascot that combined a predatory bird with a supernatural entity?
I do not know.
I'm going to guess Devil Hawk.
That seems reasonable.
And Terry might be putting $1 in the coin jar.
Did he already say this one today?
He did say something about Devil Hawk and then Gateway Disc or something. Or a devil is that yeah.
I don't know. It just, I know it's a disc,
But Devil Hawk is kind of a badass name for a mascot.
right?
I mean, it seems like a really good answer.
And what other predatory birds would you even have? Like someone with like the word eagle in it, or like
Or a falcon.
falcons.
Okay, guys, the first two had hawk in them. Can we just stick with the...
Oh yeah,
The
good
hawk
idea.
tail.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I had that written down in the wrong category. That's on me.
yeah. Let's go Devil Hawk.
We're going Devil Hawk.
I like Devil Hawk.
You guys agree?
Yeah,
Is the Devil Hawk a disc?
I'm gonna say yes.
Yes.
I also would like to say yes.
I had to mute myself because Corey was 100% right.
Ugh.
Gateway Disc Sports, February 6th, 2015. And we are tied. All right, Terry, Evan, and Tim, you're tied, but you're still a question in the hole. Would you like question 3 in category 1 or question 4 in category 2?
What do you guys think now that we have a couple, 3 answers have hawks in them? Do we just keep going?
Yep.
All right, let's go. Category 2.
All right, question 4, category 2. In the Marvel Comics universe, what character, a montage to Batman, is a wealthy vigilante and a member of the Squadron Supreme? In the Marvel Comics universe, what character, a montage to Batman, is a wealthy vigilante and a member of the Squadron Supreme?
It's a montage. Pretty sure it's Nighthawk. Yeah, I'm not going to say the other Marvel Comics character with Hawk in the name. I think it's Nighthawk, maybe.
Your guess is as good as mine. I'm going with whatever you say.
Squadron Supreme is their Justice League ripoff / satire. So that's what I think.
Tim, you're muted, by the way.
Thank you. I was just saying, yeah, I trust Evan on his Marvel, so I'm good with it.
Don't lie, you were singing about a montage.
It's a montage.
I was dying laughing the whole time. I'm glad I was muted because I was just giggling over here like an idiot.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is the Nighthawk a disc?
File that under, I hope so.
It's a good name.
Terry,
It's
is
not
that one of yours?
Not one of mine.
Okay.
Not a Terry disc.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds good. But then again, like anything I feel like Hawk sounds good. But have you ever heard of it?
No, but I like it.
Okay. I like it too.
I feel like it's like a mint discs or something like that. They have a couple birds in theirs, but I'm not 100%.
Say less.
Let's do it.
So you're going yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Quest Applied Technologies, April 3rd, 2006.
Ooh.
All right, so you guys are up by 2 points halfway through. Corey, Alex, and Randy, question 3 in 1 or question 5 in 2?
Still kind of a tough question. I don't know.
I mean, we already have half the answer if we stick in category 2.
It's true.
I mean, how many more blank Hawks do you know?
I'm not going to say them.
Good call. Good. That was close. Sure. Yeah. Let's keep going in 2.
Sure.
All right, question 5, category 2. Sharing its name with a famous North Carolina beach town, what was the name of the Apollo 14 command module that carried Alan Shepard and Edgar Mitchell to the moon in 1971? Sharing its name with a famous North Carolina beach town, what was the name of the Apollo 14 command module that carried Alan Shepard and Edgar Mitchell to the moon in 1971?
Kitty Hawk.
That's also the name that came to my head.
Nice.
Ooh, really?
I was trying to make up way cooler shit.
Damn, I don't know how where I pulled that from, but
Kitty Hawk is the Wright brothers, isn't it?
it might be.
Yeah, that's right. Dang.
I like it.
Yeah,
All
Kitty
right,
Hawk.
I think we have to go with it.
You guys agree?
Yep.
Is the Kitty Hawk a disc?
It's a good choice. It feels like there's some connections there.
We tried that once.
Yeah, we're wrong a lot.
I'm always wrong. I just go with what feels right.
There probably is some like aviation themed.
Oh yeah, coming from that,
Yeah, that's where
dude.
I'm
It's
thinking.
gonna be no for sure now.
So yes.
Yep, definitely yes.
All right. Yeah. Show us yes.
You guys agree?
Yep.
Yes.
Disc Golf Association, January
thank
1st,
God.
1982.
Mm-hmm.
That's an old one.
All right, we're tied. Terry, Evan, and Tim. Question 3, category 1. Question 6, category 2.
So how this works is it gets harder as the questions go on, right?
Theoretically, but that's subjective to Pat's intentions or not.
Well, inside the category, they get harder. But a question 3 in one category might not be the same as a question 3 in a different category. if that makes
Gotcha.
sense.
Okay.
Well, it's either we try for one with Hawk in it, and that gives us half the answer, or we go back to a question 3. Whatever you want, Tara. This is
Half the answer.
all for
Let's
you both.
go. Yep. Let's go. Category 2.
I love it.
I mean, you guys assume that that's the category.
Well, that's what Randy said. He seemed to know.
And Randy's really good at guessing categories before they happen.
All right. So, question 6, category 2. First appearing in Defenders 27. What member of the original Guardians of the Galaxy from the 31st century who is cursed to relive his life over and over was portrayed in film by Sylvester Stallone, though never by what better known superhero name? First appearing in Defenders 27. What member of the original Guardians of the Galaxy from the 31st century who was cursed to relive his life over and over was portrayed in film by Sylvester Stallone, though never by what better known superhero name?
Do you guys know this one?
I
No.
don't know. I know that I can see I know what he is, but I can't think of his name.
It's Starhawk.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Evan, I love it. You're such a nerd.
Great pull. Great pull.
I love it.
Is the Starhawk a disc?
Well, no, the Hawk is a Discraft. Never mind. I was going to say, well, there's plastic Hawk, but that's not true. It's Discraft. Again, it sounds really good.
Yeah, I like it.
I didn't think that there was a chance Kitty Hawk was one. Starhawk, though?
I think it sounds awesome.
Do you remember that cartoon from, it was like the same era as Thundercats? Or no, that was Silverhawks. Never mind. You can cut that out. I like Starhawk as a disc.
I like it too.
I'm good to go with that.
You guys agree?
Yes.
XUFO Ace Mold Co. Limited, April 5th, 2024.
That was all one company's name.
Well, it's XUFO, then in parentheses, Ace Mold Co. Limited.
Okay.
It didn't sound like you said any words there, Pat. I was a little confused.
Well, UFO is not a word. Ace? Mold,
Okay.
MOULD, mold? I don't know.
Mold of the U?
Oh, it's probably not American.
How very British.
All right. So 4 rounds in, it's 8-6. Corey, Alex, and Randy are down 2 points. Question 3, category 1. Which Renaissance era polymath and astronomer is credited with formulating the heliocentric model of the universe, which famously placed the sun rather than the earth at the center of the solar system? Which Renaissance era polymath and astronomer is credited with formulating the heliocentric model of the universe, which famously placed the sun rather than the earth at the center of the solar system?
Nostradamus.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, be quicker on the mute.
I got to use my big whiteboard, so I couldn't put it down quickly enough.
Oh, that was good.
I have 2 potential answers.
Is one of them Nostradamus?
No.
Oh, what are they?
Well, do we want to give both or just the one I'm more confident about?
Well, either way, we might get the answer right. Let's hear them both. Listen. When you're
All right.
playing dubs, the first person does not lay up; he runs it. 'Cause even if the run
Yeah,
might turn
that's
into a
true.
layup.
Say one of them first and then pause.
Yeah, Galileo was the first one that
That's
I thought
what I thought too.
So what's the other one?
I have no other guess. So,
of. Copernicus was the other one I was thinking. But Galileo was the first one I thought.
that's what I thought too.
Yeah, let's go Galileo. I just needed to hear him. I needed to hear my options before I picked one. See which one sounded better. I like Galileo.
Dude, that is all vowels. I just tried to spell Galileo. Did not do a good job.
Yeah, we happy with Galileo?
You guys agree?
I feel
Yeah.
great.
Terry, Evan, and Tim, which Renaissance era polymath and astronomer is credited with formulating the heliocentric model of the universe, which famously placed the sun rather than the earth at the center of the solar system?
Do we go Nostradamus?
Believe it or not, the first thing I thought of was Copernicus.
After they said it, that's what I thought. I also thought Galileo, but then after they said Copernicus, I'm like, oh no, that's definitely Copernicus is the answer.
Yeah, I don't have any other guesses. My first thought was Galileo, so if it's not, let's go with that.
What are you guys going with?
Copernicus.
Copernicus.
Is the Copernicus a disc?
It's all your
boy.
fault, Randy.
I feel like I've never even heard that before.
You've never heard of Nicholas Copernicus?
No, I mean, like I've heard the name, but I didn't associate that with that. So I don't know.
Maybe it's a disc. I don't know.
I'm thinking no.
I'm cool with that. It's a
I
steal.
don't know. It's just a weird.
Steel. So either way, I'm
Yeah.
cool with no. It's a lot of letters for a disc.
Yeah.
Let's go no.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Yep.
You are correct.
Big swing, big swing.
10-6.
They don't miss.
3 questions left. Terry, Evan, and Tim, question 4, category 1. An 1845 letter from the 21-year-old future Lord Kelvin inspired what British scientist to show how magnetism and light are related? An 1845 letter from the 21-year-old future Lord Kelvin inspired what British scientist to show how magnetism and light are related?
Yeah.
Magnetism and light.
And British, too. You gotta remember the British scientists.
Well, he said Kelvin, which makes me think of the temperature scale.
Correct.
Oh.
Celsius?
Yeah, the words Kelvin and Celsius in my mind are kind of related, so it wouldn't surprise me if those guys were like hanging out.
Celsius is a dude.
I
It is a
assume it's
person.
the guy
I think
they
so.
named
Drink.
the-
It's a soft.
I'm definitely learning a lot tonight.
I don't know. Magnetism and light. I don't know. Terry, Celsius popped into my head just because of the Kelvin thing, so
Yeah.
I got nothing better.
Yeah, otherwise I don't know why that Pat would put that in other than kind of a hint.
Yeah. Tim, what do you think?
It's not Fahrenheit because that's German, right?
I'm riding the coattails here with you guys. I had nothing came to mind. I didn't even think of the Kelvin thing, so I'm right with you guys.
Absolute
so.
zero. All right, let's go with Celsius.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Yep.
Corey, Alex, and Randy. An 1845 letter from the 21-year-old future Lord Kelvin inspired what British scientist to show how magnetism and light are related?
Alex, you got anything, buddy?
Nothing's immediately coming to mind.
Sir Black Hole. I got nothing.
Yeah, Einstein wasn't British. You can't think of any unit of measurement that around the magnetism and light physics.
Well, only one of them was a unit of measurement so far in this category.
Sure,
Yeah, but most unit of measurements are also scientists.
Yeah.
like
So like it could be ohm.
the joule.
Could it be magnetism and light?
Ohm is a measure of resistance, but that doesn't mean like it's electricity. You know, it's in the same vein. Just because he's named after one thing, that doesn't mean that's the only thing he did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What else we got?
I got nothing. Let's go Hector.
Hector?
Yeah.
Just like the Spanish first name?
No, like the unit of measurement for like an area of like
hectare.
land. Yeah, hectare.
I think I like ohm more than hectare.
We can go ohm. Doesn't really sound British, but
Doesn't sound British either.
It is a
Neither does
scientist that
Hector.
has done electrical stuff.
I know. I just think of Hector as like a guy down the street. Yeah, what's up, Hector?
yeah, sure, ohm.
Do we just answer John and ask see if he gets asked?
It'd be more specific.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Ohm.
Fucking whatever.
Scoggins?
Yeah.
Ohms.
We were looking for Michael Faraday.
Oh,
Okay. fair.
Oh,
Faraday
wow, I was
cage.
never gonna get that.
yeah.
Okay.
No, I would not have gotten
I
that.
also would not have ever gotten it, but
And the
now that
Faraday
you've said it, it makes sense.
is not a disc.
Corey, when you said Hector, did you think of Fast and the Furious?
Yeah, well, half C's, kind of.
Yeah, that's when you said it. I was like, oh, he's got 3 engines that he's putting in his Civics.
Get the big ones, the big bottles.
Yep.
I was thinking of family. I don't know about you. All right. Final round. You're down 4 points. Corey, Alex, and Randy. You got to get this one right, and you got to hope that they get their question wrong. Question 5, category 1. Everything changed in 1924 after who observed, I have found a Cepheid variable in the Andromeda Nebula. Everything changed in 1924 after who observed, I have found a Cepheid variable in the Andromeda Nebula.
A famous astronomer.
I mean, 1924 is vaguely Albert Einstein time.
He wasn't an astronomer.
I mean, he did a lot of things.
You
but-
really don't care about like defining people's jobs. You're like, oh, Ohm is British.
He did a lot of things, and you know, when you're talking about like relativity and stuff like that, a lot of the times you have to involve really long distances and really big objects like planets.
Okay, I'm back on board with you as a potential throwaway guess.
If you guys don't know the Latin that he just said, it's like arms of a galaxy is what they observed. That didn't help, but that's what they discovered.
And it's not a Men in Black character.
Could be
Is there a specific Men in Black character you're thinking of?
Not Will Smith.
Jay?
like Will Smith. Yeah.
I'm always thinking of Edgar.
No, the other guy.
The little guy in the head.
Terry, don't help them.
Everything changed in
Underwater.
1924 after who observed, I have found a Cepheid variable in the Andromeda Nebula.
Okay, I forgot about the 1924 part. There goes Men in Black.
There goes the Men in Black.
Hey.
Do, 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 do,
Thank
do.
you.
Randy's more of a Wild Wild West fan anyway.
Ooh.
That's Men in Black too, right?
I got nothing better than Einstein, sure.
Ugh.
I know.
He wasn't an astronomer.
Stop putting Einstein in a box.
Probably spent a lot of time looking up, down, left, and right.
What about like Haley or somebody like,
Haley's Comet?
yeah, like an actual astronomer?
Who's Haley?
He was an astronomer. He discovered the comet. That's all I
Was he
got.
alive back
I don't
then?
know. I think he might have been dead before 1924.
All right, so
actually,
then there goes
now
that
that I'm
answer.
thinking about it.
Let's go with Einstein.
Oh my god.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
Over Randy's protestations. Terry, Evan, and Tim, everything changed in 1924 after who observed, I have found a Cepheid variable in the Andromeda Nebula.
I think I know this.
Go for
I
it.
have a guess too. Go ahead.
All right, is it Hubble?
That's my guess. An actual.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's
with that.
go.
I love that.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Is the Hubble.
Yeah.
Edwin Hubble.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, why not? There have been 3 no's and only 1 yes.
2 yeses.
What was the other one?
Wasn't the Alva a yes?
Watt and Alva was.
They guessed yes, but I thought it wasn't.
No, it was.
Oh.
It was a Castoplast disc.
Yes, right.
Oh, I got that backwards. Well, anyway,
Do we need this? We just stole that.
they all count.
They're all
We're going for points
important.
percentage.
Them not
Okay.
getting it guaranteed your win.
Okay.
Throw the Hubble.
Yeah, I don't know. Personally, I would say no. That would be my
I'm
guess.
good-
I don't think
I'm good
anything's
with no.
Hubble.
Yeah, MVP did a bunch of like stamps of famous scientists, but not
Right.
necessarily naming discs after them. All right, you got me. I'll
Yeah,
say
this
no.
is your show, Terry. So
All right,
we're going no.
let's go now.
You going no?
Yeah,
Bernoulli, February 23rd, 2026.
the company is
That was like-
really.
Less than a week ago.
Wow.
I've done a few of those in the past. Bernoulli, they don't put out many, but
I'm a fan of their principle.
Well, final question. This is your victory lap. What synthetic element created in 1976 was named for a Danish pioneer of quantum physics? What synthetic element created in 1976 was named for a Danish pioneer of quantum physics?
Adamantium.
Ooh. I like that. Can we go with, I'm drawing a blank on other fun, synthetic, non-existent things.
Synthetic element.
Yeah, adamantium is fictional.
Right.
Okay.
Evan, I'm drawing a giant blank. What does Wakanda make?
Oh,
Vibranium.
Vibranium. That's what I was going to.
Danish, he said. What about Lego?
Lego? I like Lego. Let's go with Lego.
let's go with Lego. No, Nosferatu.
Okay.
Nostradamus.
Notre Dame.
Nostradamus. Nostradamus. Mantium.
Yes.
Nostradamus. Mantium.
Yep.
Corey, Alex, and Randy, what synthetic element created in 1976 was named for a Danish pioneer of quantum physics?
What do you got for this one, Alex?
Einsteinium.
Yeah, I was gonna say American.
Yeah, I like that more.
That's
even
actually
though he's not Dutch.
an element, though, right? Isn't it?
That is an
It
element,
is.
which is why I went for it. But I think it doesn't match any of the other parts of the question.
He was kind of Danish, right?
No,
I don't
I'm
think
sure
so.
he ate.
he was more of an astronomer than he was Danish.
Danish adjacent, like from the area of around the Danish.
Danish adjacent.
More than like a British answer. Yeah, let's go with Einstein again. Einsteinium.
No.
You guys going Einsteinium?
Sure.
Yes.
It does not matter, so sure.
We were looking for borium.
Oh,
Oh,
okay, that
yeah.
was actually.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
a
Niels
disc.
Named
Bohr.
for
Loft Discs,
Yeah.
November
Yeah.
22nd, 2021.
It's that weird shaped thing, right?
Yeah, that category was easy.
light work.
So final score, I think I got 11-6. Does that sound right, Alex?
Yes.
Terry, Evan, and Tim, the Tet Offensive win 11-6. Any birthdays coming up?
You got Brian Bickersmith.
Yeah, his birthday's on the 6th, Friday.
Frank DeGreg's is
A couple days ago, I think.
a couple
Yeah.
days ago. Yeah.
Mike Salt, just yesterday, Mr. Disc Golf. But Corey, you and Brian aren't going out and playing around or anything?
No, I actually had to go out to Utica on my for like a baby shower or something like that. So I would be gone.
So you just wanted an excuse to get some tomato pie.
I did not actually think about that, but that's a great idea. I'm glad you mentioned it. I hope I remember. I have to wake up early on Saturday. Go and get me a sheet.
Corey, you go to more baby showers and
Yeah, for
private
real.
showers than anyone I know.
Dude, you're not wrong. I feel this.
I think this is like the fourth one you've had in like 2 years.
At least a third, it feels like, yeah.
Corey, I gotta say, I've had tomato pie before, and it's terrible.
You better shut the fuck up, Terry. I'll tell you
Shots
this.
fired.
I don't know where you'd be getting it from. You probably get it at Stewart's, wrapped up in little single pieces.
I feel like I got it at a team challenge, and it might have been cold or something like that.
I don't know what you ate, but I can't endorse it.
See, when I was in Utica, I was smart enough to reach out to Corey and get the inside info on where to go get my tomato pie.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good.
And he didn't even actually get like where you're supposed to get it from.
Wait, what?
I mean, if it was like not like 10 o'clock at night or whenever you got it, I would have thought you go somewhere else. But where you got it from is fine.
Yeah, options limited. It was good, whatever.
Yeah, you got the mediocre tomato pie, potato pie.
Well,
whatever.
sometimes at 10 o'clock at night, that's what hits.
Yeah. The only other thing, we probably won't get to our Devin Lamke quiz that we did a couple weeks ago, but he did do a bunch of course data.
Did you see Dove Creek had the hardest hole in DisCap?
Yeah, but you said that was because nobody good played it.
I mean, maybe, but I'm still going to say it's got the hardest hole.
Which hole?
Hole 12. It's a 512-foot, kind of a beast of a hole where it's a narrow fairway, straight. You got OB to the left of the creek, and then you have to go up and over to the right over a hill that has some trees you got to navigate. And then you've got to come down the hill back to the left. And then there were a whole bunch of trees. We took out a whole bunch of them, though. So, but there's also long OB for the creek because it basically just, we have holes 11 and 12s are basically on each side of the creek. 11 goes down one side and 12 goes down the other side. So you've got the creek kind of always looming in one bad tree kick and you're done.
Is there anybody here who didn't design the hole that has played the hole?
I have.
Nope.
What do you think? Is it the hardest hole?
No, it's not the hardest hole that I've ever played, but it's a good hole. I think if you hit the gap off the tee and you land where he's talking about the like on the hill or at the bottom of the hill, as long as you know where the basket is, you can usually get over the top of the hill. And I think the first time I played it, I got a par. And as you told Scott Stokely, I try hard. So.
Just to clarify, was it the hardest hole in DisCap or the hardest hole 12 in DisCap?
Oh,
It's funny because most DisCap hole 12s are terrible. They're so hard. No, it's the hardest hole to par. So that's what his ratings were, like standard deviations to par. So this one was the hardest hole to par.
well, you're not wrong about the hole 12 thing, though.
It's like everyone.
Jen's hole 12 is terrible.
Prospect, the little tiny one to the right.
Oh, that's not terrible. Oh, yes, it is. Never mind. I'm thinking 11.
Yeah, it is.
You're right. 12 is terrible. Heiser Creek is awesome. That's 12. Oh, you're not wrong, though. There's some bad 12s out there.
All right, but we'll get that quiz in at some point. Thank you, Randy, Corey, Jamin, Evan, Alex, Tim, and thanks for coming on, Terry. That was fun.
Thanks for having me. This was great.
And sweet up, Hudson.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks,
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.